Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest on the Don Diaries is none other than the main man himself, Evan Reilly, who is one half of the Reilly's Gaff podcast. Yeah, I've not seen Evan in a while, man. We're going to catch up. We're going to have a good laugh, I'm sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's always a good time when we link up together. It's always silly and full of nonsense, so it is. And it'll be quite mad, to be fair, because obviously, you know, being part of Reilly's Gaff, they usually do a lot of things pretty much together. Like if they're ever doing shows or, you know, podcasts or interviews or anything like that, they would always be together. So they've not really done anything kind of solo. So we will be getting Jamie Kelly on a wee solo mission very, very soon as well, people. But for the time being, just sit back, relax, chill, whatever it is you're up to. You might be rough. I don't know if I'm watching Reilly's Gaff, but yeah, just sit back, relax and enjoy the show. Mate, to be honest, I've not really got anything fucking planned, to be honest with you. Just fucking shoot the shit, bro.
Mate, anytime we do a podcast, I've got two, I'll read you my notes for
Aye.
So when I started the podcast with Jamie, I would literally have pages that I'd need to scroll down and be like, I'll talk about this, I'll talk about that. See, now, mate, we don't plan a single
literally nothing. And I see, obviously, when I'd done the podcast like years ago and that, mate, I had that like every single bullet point, but I feel like, I don't know, it comes across like you're trying a bit too hard, or it's maybe not as natural and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
I think it can also, what I found when we were doing it was, if you've got a pure regimented like this, it can kind of stop you going off on tangents that would be good. Because you're like, wait, I need to bring it back because I want to ask them this.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting it flow.
Have I ever told you about the story of like Mick Kennedy when he came on my podcast? No. Oh my God, mate. So I was obviously doing like research into all the guests that came on the pod, right? And this is years ago when I first started it. So obviously like the pod's sponsored by Black Rooster, I've got a good relationship with them and stuff like that, but I'd never really met Mick before. But see that way, mate, I've never been more nervous to meet a guy, mate. And like, not because he's like a wank or anything, but I just feel like he's got a bit he's got aura, bro.
He's got a kind of aura that you're like, he was at that, let's say
mate,
aye. Do you remember?
I've got questions about it. I wanted to talk about it and stuff, mate. But I do remember because me and my pal were sitting down in like the theatre bit, and we looked up, mate, and he was sitting up there with the mad shades, see the mad specs, and he was like actual mogging everybody in the crowd, bro. He's just sitting up in the mad, like, what's he got, the balcony chairs or something like that.
Somebody said to me, like, we got off stage after doing a bit, and we'll go on to it, but see, after we got off, and like somebody said Mick Kennedy sat up there the full time his face didn't move. Like he didn't laugh at one, he was just sitting, just stone faced, just watching the whole thing. He
was probably like, what the fucking material, mate, honestly, man. But Mick, so when I met him and stuff like that, he came in, he's brand new, he's such a sound guy, but you know what I mean, he's got a bit of a presence about him that you don't want to fucking mess with him, I don't know, whatever it is. So, mate, the night before, mate, I've been Googling him, right, just to try and get like the background of Black Rooster and stuff, and obviously he's like in football management, right? I can't believe this, bro. So I've typed in Mick Kennedy football, right, and this guy's came up on Google, and it was like a player for like the 80s or whatever, and I was like, mate, that's Mick, obviously, right?
Up the age and that,
and then I was like, mate, he's had a fucking cracking career. He's played for Wolves and he's got 3 Republic Island caps, right? Mate, 3 Republic Island caps, right? So I've got all these notes like literally right at the start of the pod, right? And so it was the start of it, and I started kind of reading like these notes. I was like, so getting into like your kind of football career and stuff, but I could tell he didn't really want to like answer anything in that, right? So then I kept like asking him things, and then he was like, you do know that I didn't really play like football when I was growing up and that. And I'm like, mate, I was literally just about to ask him like how Will scouted him and stuff like that, mate. Honestly, bro. Mate, let me show you an image of this guy, bro. I was like,
did you not see a picture of the guy? Or were you just like, fucking hell, Mick?
Mate, right, I'll show you, right? You know what obviously Mick looks like?
Aye,
right.
Seen him mogging it, the lot is on that stage, man.
Mate, that is like, I said that I wasn't prepared, but I've got a few things I want to talk about, okay. And the super scoreboard thing is definitely one of them. Right, mate, now it's actually, this is typed in the Mick Kennedy football manager. Mick Kennedy football.
That's the right one.
That is the one that I should have actual Googles. But
It's the Republic of Ireland caps that got me, mate. Guy said Black Hill or something, mate.
Do you know what I mean? Like just
Mate,
like
you could...
mate, him when he was like kind of younger. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that is quite an obscure picture, so it's kind of like, could have been him.
this guy's
Young Mick.
This guy's played for him.
He's dead, he died.
Oft. Oh my god, mate.
You need to read things, mate.
Oh my god. So I've actually just
Talk
googled
about
it.
dead guys. So Mick, you died. How was that, mate? That must have been gutting, mate. You're playing for Ireland, you're playing for Wales, then you die, mate. Talk us through that.
Mate, I was just like, this guy's had a cracking career, mate, honestly. Oh my god.
That's a worry, mate.
Aye, that was the story with Mick. But how you been anyways, bro?
Good.
How's the pod going in that?
Really good, mate. It's a bit hectic now because, like, we keep, for some reason, brands keep messaging us today things, and I don't know why. Mate.
The tenant stuff
I
and all
don't
that's
know.
been class.
Aye, but then it's weird because obviously we work full time still, so it's like we're having to like balance that and then go and film these like very like under like kind of stringent rules. Like it needs to be this, you can't do this.
Are you getting like briefs and that across for these kind of brands, right? Okay.
They basically write the whole thing, but we're just trying to balance it all. But it's gone well, man. And we've got our first live show happening. So 10th of October, Drygate.
How you feeling for it?
Good, mate. I've no idea what it's going to look like. That's always been the worry for us, like doing a live show, because you see other podcasts doing it and it's like, so Open Goal will go and do the hydro, but they can literally kind of just be like, right, this has been a mad season. We'll talk about Mark O'Neill coming in and then we'll do that, and then Alan McCoy will come out and we'll get stories for him. It's quite easy to structure that, whereas ours is literally me and Jamie go, right, what time can you do this week? Tuesday at 6, right, sound, and then we turn up and go, so mind wanking and all that. So it's like, how do you put that into... How do you put that onto a stage? But we'll figure it out.
You should just sit in the stage and just get stoned, mate. Just get baked like,
in the Drygate puffing.
100%, bro. But obviously, like that's why so many people will love you, though. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like a polished like production or whatever as well. It is just two pals like meeting up and just chatting shite, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, and me and Jamie are very... I think that's why we got on so well, because we're complete opposites to each other. Like Jamie, like we're similar in some ways, but Jamie's very much like, mate, book that live show, we'll just turn up fucking day, it'll be dynamite. And I'm more like, we've got to turn up, we're not going to know what to say, we're not going to have any structure, every cunt's going to hate it. So like, he balances me out in that way, and I balance him out to be a bit more realistic with things. Do you know what I mean? So, but I do think it's one of these things, like, you need to just book. Like, I overthink things in that way. I want everything to be perfect, so it's like, it's not going to be, because we don't really know what it's going to be like yet. So in a way, it's like we kind of just need to book it and then figure it out, rather than being like, let's get a live show together and then book somewhere. Like, if I've got a date to get it done by, I'll do it, but if I don't, then I'll just like procrastinate and just be like, we'll deal with that later, mate. We'll get other things.
It's Friday, like seeing you like here, and obviously you're there together on something, because obviously when you do podcasts and stuff like that, like,
I know.
And it was like was it your idea, like, originally when you were going to come on, or see when I messaged in saying that I'm bringing the pod back, and that was it you that said originally that you wanted to date like individually, or
I think you said like your setup's kind of just for two, and then I was like, well, mate, we could come on individually, and then it's a bit different as well, because we're used to just sitting together and kind of it's weird, we do everything together. Do you know what I mean?
It's like Friday just seeing you here on a solo mission.
Even at that, even when we do something new, like we done the Kaz Milligan the commentating on the boxing, obviously one night, mate, one for the books.
Mate, I'm so sorry for chewing your ear off the whole night, bro. No, but like where I was sitting, but it was like the table right behind you, and I was fucked, right? I was fucked, and like I kept forgetting that you as well, like doing the commentary, so I kept coming like, he's right, I think, no. I was just like, mate, and you're like, mate, I'm doing the commentary every 10 times.
The amount, like, they didn't think that through, like when we went and done that boxing thing, we had a commentary table, and it was a really good view, like right next to it, brilliant, but they didn't sort of cordon us off, so there was people, and it was alright at the start of the night because people were quite sober, but see, as the fights went on, we were like, and Adam's just hit Oaksy B with a big right hand, and like two people come up like, Reilly, yeah, where's happening? I'm like, we're live, we're actually live on a stream. Well, we thought we were, we kind of weren't, but
Mate, that whole event in time was fucking crazy, wasn't it?
I don't think Scottish TikTok will ever reach those pinnacles, mate. Like,
Mate,
surveying that bouncing around an X5 and that.
Remember you came and picked me up and we went to the press conference, right? And we walked into the Normandy Hotel, bro, and there was like everybody for the Scottish TikTok like universe and scene just on one room, mate. And I was like, this is like a mad fever dream in here, isn't it?
It was surreal, mate, because
Matty kissed somebody. Remember me, Matty, who was he fighting? Was it Higgy or something?
Higgy?
Mate,
where are these guys?
Was it no one of you that told him? Was it no Jamie that told him to do it beforehand?
we were egging him on, so he was like that. He was like kind of hinting, because before the press conference, like, first of all, we walk in and me and Jamie were out the night before, so we were rough and we were like, I could be fine, I'll just turn up and ask a couple of questions. We go in, it's a full Kaz Milligan setup, so it's like, it looks like the BBC are shooting something. And we're like, oh, fuck. So then everybody's kind of walking about talking to, how you doing? Like, everybody sort of recognise each other, and Matty's up to us and he's like, I'm thinking about just trying to get in his head, you know what I mean? Just try, and we're like, I don't know if we suggested you should kiss him.
I think, mate, I swear, because I was there and I swear it was Jamie, like, mate, I think you should get in his head and pure, like, kiss him in the lips or something, and he actually done it.
The face off was trying to kiss him. Mate, that was a surreal thing, and just seeing, it was something that, but when I came out of that press conference, I was like, I don't know. Like, I enjoyed the commentary thing and that, but I was like, I don't enjoy being in those circles because it's very. Me and Jamie aren't really like that in terms of like. There was people coming up that we'd never met and they're like, when we doing our podcast, bro? And I'm like, I don't know who you are, mate. Like, why would I get you on the podcast?
Mate, there was loads of egos in that room when, mate, it's not as if they're A-listers and stuff like that, do you know what I mean?
But when you get in that space, I think they feel like, see as well, because they're probably used to walking into rooms and like people recognising them but not recognising anybody else, and then now everybody's in a room where everybody recognises everybody, so it's like, no, I'm the fucking TikTok guy.
And it's not as if like the likes of like me or you would post like maybe pipe and shit or like heavy controversial stuff in that as well, do you know what I mean? But it was a fucking mad time, mate, wasn't it? Mad time.
It was surreal, mate, but I'll just never reach that. Obviously, Suddy locked up and fucking.
My god, aye.
Kaz is kind of. Kaz has just gone on holiday with Sean Paul now. But I don't know if it will ever. I don't know if it will ever reach. And we were talking about that, mate. Imagine Lee getting the videos in the jail, mate. Kaz Milligan and Sean Paul, you know, they're obviously on holiday and that picture, they're like dead naked and all that in the room, and the asses are out and all that, like really gay stuff, you know what I mean? He'll be chugging his wet dream, he'll be chugging his fucking foreskin off in the jail with that, mate.
Mate, I text Kaz, right, like a few. Forgot about Sunny, mate. I texted Kaz a few weeks ago, mate, about coming back onto the pod and that, and he was like, bro, obviously I'd love to, but I just need to message my barber and see if I can get booked in for a trim or whatever. And then he messaged me, he's like, bro, my barber's away skiing, so we're going to need to do this in a couple of weeks. I was like, bro, just come on the pod, mate.
I know, nobody's like gone, the comments on the God Before were like, can I believe Kaz didn't get a haircut before that? No, nobody cares, man. He's a fright. I love him to bits, mate, but he's a king of rage baiting though, bro. He is the king of rage baiting. I know, and it's really hard, like, see when people talk to me about him and they're like, because everybody that doesn't know him is like, what a dick. And I'm like, no, he's actual sound. So sound, and people look at you like you're stupid, and I'm like, no, but I know him outside of like recording things. But then he's dead strategic. We're like, if I say this, then the comments will get filled with this.
Mental, isn't he? He's actual heavy smart with it though, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying personally I would like to be like that online or whatever, and it's absolutely fine that he is, but I told somebody else that when I was doing a podcast with him before, it was actually when he was fighting the property boss, and mate, we were just talking as normal, obviously cameras weren't on, and he was like, bro, can you record like a mad promo video for me, right? Mate, clicked record, and he just went for like a minute and a half. Mate, I was like, this guy be classing WWE or something, bro,
just promo, just first take.
Mate, he's mental with it, man. But
I go to him with like business shit. Like, see if we get asked, because recently we've been getting asked to do a lot more shit, like, and a lot more stuff that we could charge more money for, like, not just like smaller companies. We get asked to do something there. I'll tell you what it is, so I have camera in case we don't get it and it's up
cool.
already. But
you might bleep it, we can just bleep it.
No, so we got asked to host a live event for Adidas in JD for the Brazil game. Wow. The Scotland-Brazil game.
Cut that set.
It's alright. You keep it in if you want. It's alright. We might get it, but we might know. But when they come to you, they're asking for like a breakdown of like, what's the cost breakdown for paid media ops, like all this shit, and I'm like, Kaz, what the fuck? He's like my chat GPT with that. I'm like, would you charge for this?
Aye.
And he sent a voice note back, like, mate, 10 bags minimum. And I'm like, mate, I'm not asking for 10 grand.
10 bags
He's like, I
minimum,
wouldn't
man.
date for any less than 10 grand. And I'm like, right, so
You also want the opportunity in that.
I don't want them to go fuck off.
They offer like 9, you're like, fuck you, Adidas,
No,
mate. I'm not
we're
going
gonna
to
bid
need
for
that
that.
10 G's minimum, man.
Aye.
Maybe it's hard actually, and it's funny that you talk about that because I've been a bit like that myself as well. Been getting a lot more kind of like brand deals and stuff. Mate, I just shot an advert with Tesco and Lad Bible for the World Cup, bro. As well, aye, mate. And like, but see things like that, like, it's hard when you're trying to like negotiate a fee for you because you don't for yourself. Sorry, because I've actually had at times like management when I've been doing more like with brands, mate. It's quite clutch to have it because you just don't need to take care of that side of things. And it's hard to actually, just before you say that, it's hard like asking for more money for yourself, even though that you should be able to, mate. See, mate, these are big brands, mate. It's fucking peanuts to them.
Mate, I know, but I think it's like that sort of imposter syndrome. You're like, how can I ask for 10 grand for something that's me? Do you know what I mean? Like, well, how do I deserve 10 grand for like...
But they're obviously asking you for a reason though, do you know what I mean?
Exactly, man, but it is difficult to be like, oh, can I get this? Because you just feel like they're going to be like, you kidding on me?
Aye. And then you don't want to then lose the opportunity as well, do you know what I mean? Have you not thought about getting any sort of kind of like representation for you?
That's what I was going to say to you, because like we're getting more and more stuff in now, and I'm like, I would rather just give somebody a cut of this and just be like, you deal with that shit. Like, because also it would stop us sort of undercutting ourselves for a lot of things, I know, just to be like, I would want to do it. So,
mate, it looks heavy professional as well, see two brands, like, when you're saying, oh, like my management or whatever will get in touch, it sounds a bit wanky, but it is, mate. And like, then they can ask for the higher fee at first. And mate, every brand that I've kind of worked with or whatever as well, like, they've never said no, fuck off. It's just like, if that isn't the right fee, then right, okay, let's just renegotiate. Do you know what I mean?
Don't ever be like, you kid on, mate, get to fuck.
Unless obviously 10 G's minimum, but mate, if it's something like that, but mate, that's mad.
Mate, we're getting a lot of shit, so don't know why, but we're getting a lot.
Like, again, that's that imposter syndrome coming through though, do you know what I mean? Like, mate, cunts love you. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Paul, my business partner and that, you watch you for years and that, you get a class audience, mate.
It's more just like, I can't, because when we started the podcast, something we always said was like, right, we're starting to know, but I was like, we're never selling this to like a company that want to come in and be like, right, okay, so we'll sponsor the whole podcast, but maybe don't talk about that, or maybe don't talk about that. So we literally are just saying anything, mate, like anything. And sometimes even, mate, see, sometimes I'll be like, I'll come home for the podcast and get baked and think about the things I've said and be like, I can't be saying that. You know what I mean?
Maybe I should take that.
But then obviously it's just a bad baked mindset of being like,
it's been pure Diego Maradona, man.
Even all the shit about like the clip that we put out, we literally just put it out about Nathan Evans and Just the Brave and all that, and like slaughtering them. Male Nathan Evans and Just the Brave, they're kind of wee guys.
It was funny as fuck, mate. I watched it in bed this morning with the missus.
But even like when we posted that, I was like, oh my god, what if like Nathan Evans take us to court and we get sued for like all this shit's running through your head? But it's just a mad baked mindset, being like, everything's gonna go terribly.
You'll have mad Suddy to represent you, bro, don't worry.
I know.
Goes to court, man.
Get him out, mate. He wants us to go visit him in the jail. He's asked us to go visit him in the jail, aye. Mate,
you should like see if you could. You should go in with Jamie and and make some sort of like mad Netflix style documentary.
Mate, we easily could, and we've been asked to be on a documentary about him, but I just think it's some news thing, some news company, and I just feel like they're going to shoot an interview with us and then chop it up and make us look like mad fannies. Do you know what I mean?
Try and maybe what's the word? Not shit on you, but because you've kind of joked about
just
them and
paint us in
like
a bad light like these fuckers, which fair enough, but, but I just don't want them to make it.
But that's the funny thing about you, so you still get a fuck. Like that's what I'm saying. I know you're saying sometimes you pure deep it and stuff, but mate, that's people love the fact that you just say whatever, man.
Don't ask us for like PR things, because I will literally say, mate, who gives a fuck? People will forget about it in 2 weeks, but they kind of do. I've been watching like the Michael Jackson thing on Netflix about like the verdict, and you know, I was at Michael Jackson's corner for a good while there.
What is your verdict then on this? Because I feel quite strongly on one side about it.
Right, so before I watched that documentary, I was like, do you know I'm still torn back? Because the way Netflix film it is like, they'll show the people that are trying to prosecute him for like being a mad ped, but they'll be like, and he done this, and we've got accounts of like kids coming in and saying that he touched me here, and they used to make a thing called Jesus juice, which is when he would put alcohol in their drinks and then give them. Have you watched it?
No, I've not watched the Netflix documentary, but see that way I've been like on a high horse about it, like it's just gotta be a load of fucking shite, mate.
Aye, so I was very much like that, and then I started watching it and I was like, fuck.
They've kind of got a point.
But then it'll go back to Michael Jackson's attorney and he'll be like, these families are, it's total nonsense. And I'm like, it is nonsense. And then the next film will come on and I'm like, oh no, he's
then
a paedophile. Then the Jesus
juice comes on and you're like, nah, that's when we're cutting this here.
I'm swaying more towards that he actually done shit.
Dude, just after that documentary,
I'm in like the middle of it, but the evidence and like what people are saying, but then as I say, his attorney will come back on and I'm like, they are making all that up, but I don't know.
It's such a hard one, mate, because like I know this might sound like heavy naive to people, right? Because obviously what he was doing in the sense of having like wee guys over to stay over at his house and that is mental, right? I'm definitely not backing that up. Chris Hansen's going to walk in the door or something, bro. The Willpack Hunters, man. No, but obviously, right, that is crackers. But there's just part of me that thinks that like there was a part of him that was trying to save all these Waynes for maybe what happens in the industry and stuff like that, right? I've got a fried one for you, and I don't know, obviously this wouldn't have been put in the Netflix documentary. So in 1993, he released like an independent song away from his labels, and it wasn't titled Free Palestine, right? But it was talking about Palestine, you know about this. And obviously his first ever then sexual abuse claim, what year was it? Couple of months after, 1993.
Like I know the whole thing of like he was going to expose things about
like, Israel and music, and
because I believe like that's a hard thing. It's like you believe that he's a pure good guy, and I also think a lot of the stuff with children is that he never got to be a child. So in his like he was like one of the most famous people in the world since he was a child, so he never actually got to be a child. So I think that when he hung about with children, he was like, in his body and mind, he was still a child.
100%.
I mean, he shouldn't have wanked them off, but but you know,
I just
got to give him a bit of leeway.
You need to find that wee middle ground point there, man.
I mean, hang about with them, don't tug them off.
Just maybe don't fucking wank them off, but like it is fried though, because like I remember one of his like dreams, mate, was to rent out a supermarket. And he rented out like a Walmart or something, and he paid like all these actors to come in, but just act like civilians, because it was like his dream, mate, was just to go to the shopping and get his shit and that. And you're like, that's mental, that, mate, because like so many people like chase that level of fame, and then you get to it and then you're like, mate, I can't do anything, mate.
I know, and I feel differently about him in a sense. I feel even worse for him, because I don't even think he was chasing it. It was like his dad that was like, you're going to be the most famous, work at it, like you're going to be the best. And then he would like hit them in that if they weren't performing well. And so it's different for like other people that are maybe they get to like 20 and they're like, I want to be the biggest pop star in the world, because then you kind of signed yourself up for it. But he didn't sign himself up for it, and he's fucked,
mate. And that's a big thing, like, as well. So I had that, you know, that Rhys Donnelly on the show.
I grew up with Rhys.
Oh, did you?
What? He's the same age as me. Like he went to like another school in my area, but we all knew each other, so I know Rhys really well. I didn't even know that. But
when he came on the podcast, I asked him the question, right, because he was talking about, obviously, you know, he's got the mad theatre with kids and the stuff like that. But see, when there's like babies in it, mate, and like 1 and 2 year olds and stuff, and then they grow up and they're like in this kind of institution or whatever. Not institution, that makes it sound so extreme, but this school or whatever.
Cult. A musical cult.
Musical cult, bro. But I just like, is that what the kids want, or is it the mum and dad's like dream that they're kind of pushing through their child? Do you know what I mean?
I know.
But I did ask him that, so I'm not being like mad snake.
What did he say?
About this. Can't remember. I took no idea.
Fuck.
I just remember that I asked the question, mate, but nah, I can't remember the answer. But I don't know.
But it's kind of like, say you had a wee boy. Since he was really young, you'd to be taking him to football and that.
I know, mate.
Do you know what I mean? But he wouldn't be like, I want to play for a football team at like 3 and 4, but you'd be taking him to like
anything, can't you?
I could. You need to try and get them into something where they're going to do nothing.
I always say to my missus, I'm like, honestly, see, when we have kids, we're going to have a boy first. He's going to be out in that garden running around cones, mate, for a very young age, bro. Project Mbappe, mate.
Aye. I seen a funny TikTok, and it was like, we're all too worried about Project Mbappe. What about like the reliable right back, like Project Tony Hibbert?
Gary Neville.
I was like, you've got a much higher chance of getting pro if you train them to be like a reliable 8 out of 10 every week right back, rather than trying to make them like a mad Mbappe winger.
Mate, I feel like he was a bit underrated as well, mate. See how there's that debate about, like, obviously Kyle Walker and stuff, but mate, Gary Neville, like, I think he gets shat on a lot, mate, but like, he wasn't a mad flashy player, but he didn't play in an era where there was like that flashiness there as well. So mate, Alex Ferguson kept him in for fucking how many years, mate?
He wouldn't keep you about if...
It's like fucking James A. Forrest, bro.
Exactly, mate. You need the reliable guys, man.
Tony Ralston, I'd kind of like to see him go, bro. I'm not going to lie.
Ralston, mate. Apparently, well, so Jamie was, we slaughter Ralston a lot publicly, right? Because it just infuriates me that, you know, there's obviously, he's got there and he's deserved it. Like, he's worked his way through, you know, he's put the work in and he's got there, but like, it infuriates me that somebody with that little technical ability is a professional football player. Like, even see that way somebody, he'll be like running up the line, he'll play it into McGregor, he'll play it back out to like Forrest or something, and then Forrest will put it through for him to cross it. You're just waiting, you're like, this is going out the fucking park. You just know it's going to, like, he's going to curve it out behind the goal. And then I'm like, how can a professional footballer do? How can you get to that level where you're earning tens of thousands of pounds a week and you can't, as a right back, run out to the ball and get it in the box?
Do you know who was one of the worst crossers of the ball I've ever watched in my time of following Celtic? Emilio Izaguirre, mate.
Oh, but mate, before he broke his leg, he was like one of the best.
He was actually alright in that, but see, when he came back for that, mate, it was like every fucking cross just went out, mate. But have you been going to the games all your life and that? Or?
I stopped years ago, mate, because when I started working in the railway, I would work weekends, so it was just pointless. But seeing Ralston, right, so we've said a lot about Ralston in terms of just being like, he's shite. And then Jamie was at the Celtic game with his pals for Ireland, and they wanted to they don't go to the games obviously, so they wanted to hang about after it and see all the Irish players. It was like Johnny Kenny, Scales and that. So they were waiting about after it, and Luke McCowan follows us and like watches the podcast and that, right? So like,
I'm not a fan. He's my Tony Ralston, bro.
I believe that. No, but no, look, you're probably the best player gone now. And Luke McCowan came out and he was like, right, let's have what's happening, and like talking to Jamie and that, and he was like, love the podcast, like amazing. Then he said that Ralston came out and Jamie was like, it's happening, Tony boy. And he was like, right, what's happening, mate? And he looked up and just like his face just dropped and he just patched him. And I'm like, has he actually helped us talk shit about?
Oh, he defos has then,
look, I don't rate his football ability, but I don't want a fucking square goal with a cunt.
Bricky.
Oh my days,
how
mate.
How mental was the last game of the season, mate?
Oh my god.
Were you there now? We were just watching the TV,
mate, I went and stayed with my mum and dad's because my dad was like, he takes my nephew a lot.
Right.
And he was like, look, he might go, he might not go. And I was like, I'm going to come stay with you so that in the morning when I wake up, if I can go, I'm with you and we can go. And my nephew ended up going. So I was sitting in my cell, pure smoking a pen and that, pure having a heart attack.
Mate, I've never been more nervous watching a game. I don't know if you were the same, mate, but obviously seeing it was one each for ages, like, mate, I was just sitting looking at the ground the whole time, mate. It was, man.
I can imagine being in the actual state, because like, it's weird though, because even it had about 80 minutes, I was like, we just feel we went on 20-minute Tims and
seen that, mate. Seen that. That's a good collab, man.
It's funny as well, but because see, if you look back at what we were saying, I actually predicted the exact time. I said, even if they score early, and it'll probably be Shankland, I don't think the stadium will turn on them. And I think because it's one game, it's no like, oh fuck's sake, now we need to go to Motherwell and beat them, and it's one game, so the atmosphere's not going to change, and I can't see us no winning it.
No, mate, it was mental, mate. Honestly, mate, I was fucked before it, and see, obviously when Osman was running through, I didn't realise that the keeper was at the goal, mate, and I'm sitting shouting, fucking square it, and I was like, mate, no way he's actually at the goal, mate. But it was just mental, mate. And the aftermath of it was crazy, you know, wasn't it? Like, for the media and stuff like that. Like, I just say to everybody in the world bar obviously Celtic and Hibs fans wanted Hearts to win. So then when they knew that that wasn't happening, it was just like the whole thing and the fairy tale and all that had been shat on. But then like they kept saying that the fairy tale and whatever didn't happen. Mate, we've had the most mental season. We've had a 74-year-old come in twice, mate, to save the day, and we won the league with about 5 minutes to go.
It's I think the whole cope after it by like Rangers fans, Hearts fans was genuinely just like, this is the worst they'll ever be, and they still won a double.
Aye.
Well, they hadn't won a double at that point, but you know what I mean? It was like, they're never going to be that. They're used to us being good or really, really good, and gone, well, they are good, but they've had to watch us go through the worst season I can remember as a Celtic fan in terms
easily,
of like,
mate.
COVID was bad, but that season was just...
Mate, I think the COVID team would pump this team, honestly.
Oh, mate,
maybe not like, like after the split and stuff like that, but from fucking January and that.
Pre-split Celtic, mate. Oh my God. Goodness.
The Nancy era, bro. Because I was going to speak to you a wee bit about the season and stuff, but like, see, even remembering back to all this stuff, remember his like fucking profile picture get leaked and stuff like that, and it was like the things that matter and the things you can control, and you're like, what is going on right now, mate? It just felt like a mad fever dream, didn't it?
He honestly, a week in the door, he just spazzed out, mate. He was just like, post it. You can't do that. You just need to keep quiet and just hope it goes well. You can't be like, I'll post this, and then people will be like, right, okay, it just wasn't going to happen.
Remember he done the press conference and all, and like somebody asked him a question, the actual just went like 8 minutes of talking and stuff like that. He's like, if you give me time, you'll see what I do.
Mate, I have this theory that if he came in pre-season and got players, I would be interested because, mate, the best football we played that whole season
100%.
was under him, and the amount of chances we missed in that, like obviously leaving one guy back isn't ideal, but I don't know, I would have just liked to, and I think a lot of the players didn't take to what he was trying to say, and they were very much like, look, we're struggling now, we just need something we can build up that strong foundation, and he was like, what about one guy at the back? No, like, no.
He must want to assassinate Johnny Kenny, mate. See the amount of chances that guy missed over like a period, about 4 or 5 games, that like, it's mental to think that if he just scored them, and mate, some of them are about fucking 5 yards out, that he maybe would have still been in a job in that, and he would have went on a run.
Exactly, because a lot of our games were like the first half we were really, really good attacking, and we just couldn't score, and then half time would come, I remember like the Dundee United game, like they just came out and scored, and it was like, or we go 1-0 up but never go 2-0 up to like be comfortable, and then as soon as our team scored you knew they were going to collapse. I
remember see the cup final against St Mirren, mate, so obviously like, what a fucking crazy time to even bring him in. Like, see when you deep it, like,
so stupid.
Martin O'Neill's winning basically every game, and you bring him in. So it was Hearts at home, I think. It was then a Europa League game, I think, at home.
And it was Roma.
So it was fucking Roma, and then it was St Mirren in the cup, right? And I was at Hampden, and I've never ever been at a Celtic game where everybody was just like, what the fuck is actual going on here? Like, mate, Yang at left back and Luke McCowan at right wing back and all that. It was, mate, it was nuts, mate. It's mental to think we actually should have a treble as well.
Aye, and if they just kept Martin O'Neill in, and it was one of the worst season ever, mate.
Aye, but and that's obviously like you were talking about the co-op and stuff like that, but then even, mate, see the amount of pundits as well that have came out and said that Hearts players have been assaulted, and like, it's came out officially that like nothing happened to them and that, and you're like, mental, I don't know, mate, just the backlash, it was as if like that was the media's first ever time seeing a fucking pitch invasion. I know, mate.
I know.
See the amount of times they fucking went on with that, it was mental, but frightening.
It was a way where I think it was just that build-up of, I mean, I can't remember the last time we were top that season. Aye. So then Hearts were literally top for maybe eight months, I don't know, something like that. And then for us to just, it's like a horse race where the horses, like one's out in front, you're like, that's won it, and then you just see this horse coming.
See on like a human level, did you feel any type of way for like Hearts fans or whatever? Because I was just after it, I was like, I don't know, man. See, when you're deep in that, the fact that they thought, right, we're actually going to win the league.
Immediately after it, no, because I turned 2 balls El Dorado after it, and I was just like quote tweeting him. Mate, the amount of people that unfollowed me. I was on.
Were you pissed?
I was on Matt Shell's at my story, being like, don't forget we're the fucking kings. People are mailing me like, I've just unsubscribed for your Patreon, you Fenian dog, and all that. I was like, cool. No, how $5 a month? How am I going to pay all my bills, man?
I don't care about it.
But see, like looking back on it, like that's probably the only chance the majority of their players will ever have at winning anything.
100%. And then even fucking Shanklin's away. I think they were Rangers in talks with Devlin, I think, as well. I don't know if that was 100% true, but mate, everybody's leaving them. Who else? Like their coaches left them.
Braga will be away or not?
Braga will be away, aye. I've got a theory, and it's not a positive one about Celtic, but I think you know how you were talking about nobody will ever have a better chance to win it because we'll never be as bad in that, and I get that point. I genuinely think we'll downsize again this summer, mate. I genuinely do. And I just think we've got a mad dictator of an owner that genuinely is just like, fuck yous, I'm going to do whatever I want.
I wonder how many other clubs in like even European football have an owner that's like, it seems like they're actively trying to ruin things. Like they're like, who's the most divisive person we can make the manager? Let's make him the number one target. And it's mad just seeing as well, like, there's Celtic content I listen to, and it's guys been like talking about, you know, obviously we're going for Robbie Keane or Martin O'Neill or Bellamy. They're the only targets, and then he's like, they'll go through managers that they don't even work in football, and they're like, the Girona manager who he plays this system, and it would fit in really well with Celtic because, you know, they play a similar formation. It'd be easier for the play, and you're like,
you know that Quinny on YouTube.
That's what I'm talking about.
Is it? I watch all his shit as well, mate. But you're like,
hail.
What a boy, man! What a boy. But I've always thought, like, is he watching his stuff? How can somebody let him no be working with Celtic, mate?
But it's as if when if he came into Celtic, they'd all be like, here, that guy needs to fucking go. He's going to ruin this whole gig we've got.
Like that Don Mackay, isn't it, obviously?
I mean, I know.
I'm trying to get him on the pod, bro. Don Mackay. Tell all about Dermot Desmond.
I was sitting behind him on a flight back from London once, and I was joking to be like, what happened with Celtic then, bro? Peering my mouth through the gap and this, don't what happened with Celtic, mate?
That Ross Desmond's a wank, isn't
it? I'm lucky I didn't have like a couple of drinks or something, because I definitely would have been tuning his ear up. Mate, what actual happened, bro? So you got to tell me.
Right, mental. Apparently he was just like going in, obviously trying to modernise the thing, and then the rumour was that he just signed Juranovic without like actual okaying it with anybody on the board or like Dermot or whatever it was, obviously, and then obviously that's why he get fucking sacked and let go. But the whole thing's crazy, mate, because you've got a guy that genuinely does nothing. He's not invested a penny of his own money in like 20 odd years or whatever, but yet he's the fucking sheriff in charge that obviously picks the next manager, and that is, oh mate, it's mental, isn't it? You're choking just for the Saudis or something to come in, aren't you?
Oh mate, I'm dying for anybody,
I don't
mate.
love that, mate. The Saudis.
I want us.
Would you wear the robe in that if they came in?
I
went green and white stripes.
A hoop robe.
You'd be like that wee old guy that cuts about in the wee summer, you know what I'm talking about, the wee Irish guy in that. I want to ask you a question. Those clumped up seasoning jars that have been lying in your cupboard for the past 10 years, have you actually ever checked the ingredients in the back of them? See, a lot of these seasonings contain really nasty additives, natural flavourings that are actually made in a lab somewhere and filled with E-numbers and anti-caking agents. Scran Seasonings is an 100% pure blend of only spices, so you won't find any nasty ingredients or additives in them. And you'll never need to worry about Scran Seasonings clumping up because it tastes that good. They're not even going to be lying in your cupboard for that long. Whether you're making air-fried chips, a midweek pasta, or even taking an 80p pack of noodles and turning them into a £15 tasting takeaway, one shake and you're absolutely sorted. The Scran Seasoning jars are designed to be 2 to 3 times bigger than other competitors. The lid is also nice and wide, so you can actually measure the seasonings out exactly. So if you're looking for seasonings, it's all killer and no filler. Head over to scranseasonings.com to secure yours today. How is so talking about the Super Scoreboard stuff then? How did it even come about?
So, a guy I know, Davy Kerr, I actually know his wee brother more, Johnny, but he messaged us and he was like, look, we're putting on a live show. It's the guys for Super Scoreboard, but it's not actually Super Scoreboard that are. They can't call it Super Scoreboard because it's no anything to do with Clyde. It's just he's just hired like DL, Mark Wilson,
Hugh
Andy,
Keevins, Stephen
Keevins, mate, and he was like, we want you to be like the warm-up act. And at first I was like, oh, that's a class opportunity, but I was kind of like, we are near a football thing, so I'm like, the audience that's there are coming expecting something to do with football, and I'm like, we don't really talk about football that much, and trying to figure out what we should do, and then obviously we ended up kind of impersonating Brendan Rodgers.
Mate, it was class, man.
It
was really, really good, mate. Obviously, I've seen you after and stuff, but mate, it was probably better than the actual show, to be honest.
Mate, a lot of people did say that to us, but I think it's just like guys like Gordon Diaries and that, like they've had a career and they've got good stories. Oh, I was in first day in Rangers, now walking there's Jock Wallace and all that. Like they've got their stories set that are like, the crowd will like this. It's Rangers related, it's funny, it's this.
Yeah.
Whereas like we planned like weeks of like, right, we'll go down to the studio and go over this script. And like it was a thought out scripted thing. We learned it back to front, so it probably felt a bit more like polished than what happened after it. And I think everybody ended up steaming by the time they came on, so it was just carnage.
Bro,
I'm glad we were on early.
People were wrecked, mate. Like people were coming to me.
So when we obviously got there early, right? And none of we were like the first people there that were actually on the show, right? So we got there and we just wanted to kind of go in and see the stage and be on the stage and feel the setup and that. And we went,
feel the vibes,
and so we went, but then like slowly, like Hugh was the first one out of them to come in. He came on the stage and we're like, oh, nice to meet you and that. And mate, lovely guy, man. Like really, like just. He said something about, oh, my granddaughter knows Hughes or something, or she said something to him about, oh, I know them, or I listen to them, or whatever, and he obviously had no idea who we were, but he was like lovely, mate. He was like he gave you the most time out of them all. He would just sit and chat to you and telling us stories about going up and meeting Rodgers and just hundreds of stuff. Like,
what's that a hero, to be fair?
Mate, like, I never really bought into the whole thing, like, he's a fucking dick. Like, he does what he does on the radio because that's what works, but outside of that, when he was chatting away us, I was like, fuck, this guy's amazing. Like, he was just chatting to us for ages.
People take it too seriously, mate, don't they? He just likes a wee rage bait, Keevins, doesn't he?
He likes being very dramatic about things so that people phone in and go, I want to talk to you. And he's just sitting there like, cool. He's very like unflustered by everything, I know, because
he's an experienced veteran, bro.
Do you know who my bird thought that he was the full night? Paul O'Grady. And I'm sure Paul O'Grady's dead, so I don't know how he would have been there, like Mick Kennedy. I should have interviewed him as Paul O'Grady. So, I mean, you like pure dogs and all that? What was that?
Why would Paul O'Grady be in a super scope?
I don't know. She was like, I thought that was Paul O'Grady. I'm like, no, his name was Hugh Keevan.
Oh, that's so funny.
But the other guys and that, everybody was brand new. Mark Wilson, very quiet guy.
He seems like I'm so surprised at how well he's done at Partick Thistle, because he just doesn't, like, I don't know, like, you don't get much aura, presence. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
He doesn't seem like he could, like, you'd be like, I'd run through a fucking brick wall for him. But he must be good at what he does. But
I think he worked under Rodgers, didn't he? Under Gucci belt. Not like worked under him, but I think like I think he said in open goal one time that he went into like going to his trainings and stuff like that. But I'd love to, like, obviously just talking about Rodgers, because yous were doing like the kind of scene and it was in the like his office and stuff like that. Mate, you'd love to just sit in a meeting with him, mate, wouldn't you?
Oh, and just pick his brain.
And like see like what it is that he does, and it's obviously people say he's like a mad genius with football and that, mate. Do you know what I mean?
People that were there, I won't say who said it, but people there were like, he's a fucking prick. That's what they were saying. Aye. Because after we came off, and it's funny because like, so the setup was Jamie was going to be Gordon Duncan, but he called himself Dordon Guncan, and then so he was going to do that, and he was interviewing me, and I was Brendan Rodgers. And when I first came out, I'd never anticipated this. When I came out, I was just expecting, like, not a pure massive cheer to be like, oh, there he is, but like, I was just expecting everybody to be like, hey, it's the start of the show, and and I came out, mate. So I'm waiting to come, because Jamie went out first and then he was introducing me, and obviously we had many men come on as Rodgers was coming out, and I'm waiting behind the curtain to come out, and Gordon Diaries behind me, and he's like, oh, you better hope your arse doesn't go as soon as you go out there. Like, he was trying to make me shite myself, but I was so locked in that I was just like, I barely even heard him say it. And he was like right behind me, like, oh, the crowd's out. He was trying to make me feel nervous. And I was like, oh, fuck you. So I was just waiting to go out, mate, and I was like so full of adrenaline. Like, I came out and I was like, right, I'll come out and I'll just parade about the stage. And as soon as I came out, I just heard, boo! And I was like, Oh, I never thought about that, because they're like treating me as if I'm
actual Brendan Rodgers.
Fuck you, Rodgers. And I'm like, no, Brendan Rodgers.
Mate, imagine you turned into, like, you know how Heath Ledger went heavy crazy because he actually started thinking he was a Joker. Imagine how it's you, like, you actually started thinking you were Rodgers.
I mean, I was talking like him.
See, the impression spot on, bro.
Thanks, man. I was talking, because I had to practice talking like him for so long, like I would I'd be in the house talking to Megan, I'd randomly break into the voice and that, but
he's a wee bit, go on.
Well, certainly, you know, we've had a couple of offers for Tony Ralston. We've had an offer from City for Tony Ralston. City building. Maybe Ralston heard that joke and he thought,
that's super, bro.
Maybe he heard that and was like, fuck these cunts.
Oh, mate, it was just such a crazy night, because like, I was just sitting blasting the Benjamin, like, in the Kings, and then the auction came on at half time. Mate, people were bidding. Somebody bid like $1,000 to go to like a shisha bar we use or something.
Mate, so
mate, I was just like, what is going on here?
It was quite rogue, right? Because like the two guys that were running it, we're good pals with them, and like they sorted us out, and like I couldn't say enough good things about them. But we would go and meet them, sort of building up to the show, just sort of hang about and talk about the show and say like, this is what we've got so far, what do you think? And they were kind of just like, whatever you think, man, we're just putting it on. But we would go and meet them, and they were like, one of them mentioned to us, oh, it'd be good if we could like, he didn't actually mention auction it off, but he randomly was like, I will get like a couple of fans down here and they can have a meal with you and that, and it'll be on the house, and I was like, aye, cool. And then the night of the show, I didn't know anything about this, and then the night of the show, the sort of MC guy who was like coming out and introducing people, he's like, right, the auction, he's like, right, we're auctioning off a meal we use in a shisha bar for the night. And I was like, alright. I was like,
am I getting the dough for it?
Aye, so he was like that. What'll I start the bidding off, like 200? And I'm like, no, mate, don't. I said, nobody will want that, mate. Nobody's going to want that. I said, start it off at like 50. And he was like, right, okay. And he went out. And then I didn't even stay to like watch who won it or that. We were doing it at like, our dressing room thing. And somebody came down and was like, somebody's just paid like 700 quid or something to go to a shisha bar we use. Mate, I've never been. Mate, whoever paid for that never got it, because we've never been asked. They paid 700.
It's actually 7 ton down and it's not even happened.
Mate, it was somebody in our Patreon, but it was him and like 3 of his pals.
Aye.
And because people were in our Discord talking about it, going, can't believe somebody paid blah blah blah. He popped up like, it was me and my pals. And then I was like, mate, we'll go to it, but I've not heard anything about it.
See you saying that you were like backstage shiting it, saying like, oh, you can't start at 200, mate. 95% of that audience, were full of copious amounts of cocaine, bro. Like, but see the auction, it was just such a car crash, because like everybody was steaming in the audience, but he's trying to do an auction to a full theatre, mate. Like, it's no as if you're in like a bowling club and you can just go down, right? So he's just spitting out all these like different things. Like, there was like a whiskey tour with Hugh Keevins, wasn't there?
I don't know.
Oh, you were there, mate. There was like you could go to like a distillery with Hugh Keevins, and somebody bid like 1,200 quid for it. But basically, right, the guy that was auctioning it, he read out about 10 things, right? And then somebody would put their hand up, but it was obviously just people taking the piss, mate, like pure steaming and that, right? So then like he would like go like sold, and he would just move on to the next thing, but then he didn't have anybody like next to him to go up to that person that he'd sold it to, right? So he got to the end and he's like, right, who was it that fucking bidded the thing with Hugh Keevins and that? And then like nobody's putting their hand up or anything, and he had to start doing it again and that. You're like,
you can't do that in an arena that big. Like, as you say, like, if you're in, I was at a Duncan Ferguson speakers night, right? See the guys, because I listened to his book and it's just the funniest thing ever. And I was like, this guy's the fucking man.
He's a mad cunt, isn't he?
Oh, mate, but then, so the guys who put on that live show were putting on an evening with Duncan Ferguson, and I mailed him. I was like, get us in there, mate, I need to see this guy. And he was like, no bother, mate, don't pay for it, just turn up in the night, I'll put you at my table and that. So it was like a meal and all that, it was good. But
to get the ball?
We got the ball. But see, during that auction, mate, like, it just shows you, because they time it well, because they let everybody get a bit drunk, and then, mate, there was, me and Jamie were sitting next to each other, like 5 or 6 pints down, and we're sitting fucking looking at people are auctioning off things, like Duncan Ferguson soaks when he played for Everton and all that. People are like, 500. And then there was a Callum McGregor signed tap, me and Jamie were like, we need that, mate, we fucking need that. And it, mate, I went up to like 250. And the guy so Davey that runs the live things, he owns the company that does the signed shirts now, and he's like, mate, stop bidding, I'll give you one, I've got hurdles in it. I was like, shut up, mate, we need this, 250. And then, mate, it's so embarrassing, because somebody went 300, and I was like, 310. I was like, I'm not got 350, that's nuts. The guy didn't even hear me. And I was like, never mind that.
That's a generational aura, was it, bro?
Oh, mate.
Oh my god, that's funny as fuck, mate. I done that and all, mate. I was heavy fucked. I was at a charity night, and it was in the Normandy, actually, right? And mate, there was a sign St Mirren top getting auctioned off. But like, I knew the lassie, like this lassie was ill or whatever, and I knew her that like was doing the fundraiser or whatever. And I was fucked, and then somebody obviously put up this sign St Mirren top. Obviously I'm a Celtic fan, but my pal's big brother is a St Mirren fan, so I'm pure turning to Meg and I'm like, I need to get that for him and stuff like that. Furious if you're going in like the front line in that, mate, right? Mate, I spent £350 on a signed St Mirren shirt, right? And we're getting a taxi to Vienna's, and I fucking left it in a taxi. I lost it, mate.
Mate. It's not because you don't think about the logistics. Like, even us, like, they started bidding off Duncan Ferguson signed balls. It was just a mitre ball that he'd signed, right? So so they'll auction off the first one, right? So they're like that. We get 50 quid, so 50, 100 people 100, so it goes all the way up to £350, right?
Aye.
Some guy pays £350 for a ball, so he gets the ball, and then the next one comes out, and he goes 50, nobody put their hand up, right? So there's like 10 of them. And then
this guy's just spunked 350.
so then I'm like starting to feel a bit awkward, because I'm like, oh my god, and Duncan Ferguson on the stage, and you can tell he's uncomfortable, because he's like, what are we doing? Why are we auctioning off balls that I've signed? Who cares? And you can tell him, like, he was in the country like, fucking rap it, you cunt. Like, he was like in his ear trying to get me stopped. I was like, no, what, fuck it. I said 50, and then the rest of them just went for 50, and I was like, imagine being the guy that paid 350.
If you just held off one ball, mate.
I know, one ball, mate, just let it run, and then
man.
you would have had one for 50. But mate, as you're saying, like, you left that, mate, see, after that we ended up wrecked. We were in there till about 2-3 in the morning.
Where was it? Was it in Glasgow?
It was in the Alea Casino at the
right.
Quay.
Aye.
So after, me and Jamie are so wrecked, and I'm like, mate, man, we'll go down studio, mate, I'll fucking get on it all night and all that. And he was like, no, I need to go. He was gone, and then he was like, I'm just going to go up the road. Morgan's texting me and that.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
I know, mate, but that studio's a bad place for us, mate. It's just available at any time.
Yeah.
But and then he was like, right, cool, but I didn't have a vape, and I was like, I need a vape, I'm wrecked. And I was like, bro, I'm just going to fucking, I was in like a suit and that, dribbling that ball into, for the key into, like, see where, like, the Clyde at like Jamaica Street. I dribbled that ball right up that path. Aye, mate, and I was wrecked, bro. And know what I turned into? I had earphones and that, and I was listening to tunes, and I was pure singing and that. Myself with a suit on, dribbling a ball. And
the main character, bro.
But now, like, that bit of the Clyde's quite dodgy and that, like, down there, like, and it was like 2 in the
Glasgow's
morning.
a shithole now, mate.
So I was down there, and I was like, this could potentially be dodgy, and I'm like, no, wait, I'm now the dodgy guy. Like, I'm now the cunt that people be like, oh my god, who's that? Right, aye, so I was like, I'm actually sound like, now I've ascended and I'm now the bad guy. So nobody's got to come near me. But
you're shouting, guys, I signed Duncan Ferguson, Mark.
Mate, I woke up in the morning and the ball was in the hall, and it was bogging, mate, because it was obviously going through puddles and that, and I was like, fuck.
Dribbling through Jamaica Street the night before. Oh, mate, that's so funny, bro. So funny. I wanted to do a wee deep fried, just a wee mini segment.
Okay.
In honour of you being on.
Okay.
I'm really hoping that you've no heard of this, mate, because I absolutely just love telling people that fried shit like this for the first time. Have you heard of the Australian Emu Wars?
No.
Have you know? Oh, bro, come on, man. Come on, this is unbelievable, mate. So, one of my pals told me about this the other day, right? We were getting a joint and that. I was like, mate, shut up, bro. And he's like, mate, I'm telling you, go and look up. And we sat and researched it. So, basically, the Great Emu War, the setting, 1932 in Western Australia, right? Basically, the Great Depression was in full swing, and soldiers from World War One, they'd been given land by the Australian government to then become farmers, right? So they moved to this basically land, but emus started like immigrating to this specific bit of land, and then they were pure breeding and just multiplying, right? So I think there was about, in this one bit of land, mate, there was about 30 or 40,000 emus just roaming about, right? But they were like destroying all the farmers' crops, like, just causing that ruckus, right? Just causing that fucking ruckus. So basically, the government's solution to this was, right, the World War stopped, so we might as well just send in, like, the Australian military to fucking kill them all, right, and exterminate them, right? So basically, this is fucking nuts. So the Australian army soldiers, they deployed them into like trucks and stuff like that and drove them to where all these like 40,000 emus were, right? They equipped every single soldier with a loose machine gun, right? Mate, they get beat and they had to retreat, mate. The emus actually won in the war. Right? And it was known as the most embarrassing military operation of all time, right? And I was just sitting thinking, like, how can they get beat though, mate?
With guns?
Mate, well, aye, with machine guns, mate. Every single one of them had machine guns. They then actually, so because they were getting embarrassed and they were losing before they retreated, they're like, mate, we're going to need to send fucking tanks and like trucks and all that in, right? That had like machine guns. See those mad trucks and it's like somebody's standing on the back of it and they've got
the
turret
thing,
the big turret, right? Mate, they even brought that in, but they couldn't keep up with the emus and that. They were just running like...
I suppose an emu might be hard to hit with a gun. Do you know what I mean? It's not what a person... Like, they thin limbs and a neck and all
aye, but then, like, see when they're all kind of crowding in this one big area, mate, that... Like, sure, you, like, just spray them with a fucking machine gun, right?
Aye.
So, basically, the major that was in charge of it was Major J.P.W. Meredith. And the plan obviously seems simple to him. He's like, right, fuck it, we're just going to go in and just shoot them all and it'll be a piece of piss. So when the soldiers approached about a flock of around 50 to 100 of the emus, they outsmarted them, right? And they basically would split up and run in different directions, but they'd run in like zigzags, but they can reach speeds of like 40 mile an hour, right? So Major Meredith later said that the birds seemed to suss him out and have his military tactics. You're like, mate, how useless is this general, mate, that fucking obviously emus are out like outsmarting them. So a few days later, the army found a group of 5,000 emus, like all like proper right next to each other on this big road, and I can show you a picture of it and I'll leave it up the screen and stuff. Wait, hold on, I'm actually not good at pictures up. Look how many of us.
What?
Mate, that's how many.
That's fucking terrifying.
Mate, mental, mate, right? And like you said, like, mate, they're nimble, they're agile, but they're tall and that as well, and
hard
rapid. They've got pure jaggy teeth and stuff. So, mate, I know you would maybe think like a fucking ostrich or an emu, like, you could take care of that neighbour, but...
That many of them, mate, that's an army of emus.
An army.
It's funny to come back for a war and then be like... No, to your soldiers, be like, no, wit, man, amazing. Like, honestly, just fucking chill for a couple of years till something kicks off. They're like, nah, you need to go and fucking deal with this emu problem.
Mate, how many divorces happened? Like, see when you're coming back and like the wife's like, aye, how'd you get on? They're like, why they fucking battled us, mate?
They had a number, outsmarted us, the old emus. Mate, I get scared if there's more than like 3 seagulls in an area.
100%,
that would
mate.
terrify the fuck out of me.
Mate, and they're big, so like basically they're saying like why they were so hard to kill, so they can run up to 40 miles an hour. Obviously, they zigzag unpredictably. They can cover huge distances without stopping. And they survive a lot more injuries that would maybe like stop other animals. So even if they were getting shot, mate, like it wasn't bringing them down. They were just carrying on and running about and stuff like that. So this is when like the truck disaster happened. So this mad major is sitting there like, I don't know what to do here because we're trying to kill them. And like, mate, I think only seen total, right? So there was like 30,000 or 40,000. Mate, they only managed to kill 200 of them, mate. 200. And I don't think there was any deaths to the Australian soldiers, but they sent in, I'll find out how much they sent in, but they sent in a lot of them, mate. A lot of them, right? So this mad major's obviously sitting there like, I don't know what to do now. So he gets these trucks in with the mad turrets on it. And like I said, basically because the terrain was like so rough and the emus were actually faster than a lot of the trucks. Like they were just weren't able to shoot any of them or anything, right? This is fucking mental. So the defeat came after hundreds of thousands of rounds fired. Only a couple of hundred emus had been killed. Some estimates suggest that nearly 100,000 rounds were fired, and there's a confirmed fewer than 300 kills of the emus, right? The operation became a national embarrassment and the media started mocking the army for years after it, right? And then it gets the war ends, right? The war ends. The government then withdrew the military. The emus effectively won. and basically then they were just like, to these farmers, we're going to either need to move yous, or yous are just going to need to take care of it, as in yous try and kill them, or like put fences up and all that or whatever. But there you go, mate, the Australian Emu Wars, bro.
I don't know if you know, but like, I mean, how did it, are they still there? Like,
Let's see.
So it was in Australia?
Aye. Are the emus still occupying this land? Let's see.
That is crazy, man.
Mental, mate.
It's funny because you think, like, when you started telling me about that, then you're like, oh, they sent the army, and I'm like, it's a bit far. You know what I mean? Like, let them chill, man.
Aye.
That many large birds they got, but that's,
mental,
that can be
mate?
A problem, mate.
I'm surprised you not heard it, because I know he's like getting fucking fried in that.
I'm a cassowary guy, but...
What,
you know about the cassowaries?
No, what's that?
Google a cassowary, mate.
Tell me, bro.
Like CASSOWARY.
Right.
So cassowaries are big, large birds, but they kill humans. I was sitting one night, like, I wonder if there's birds that, like, if you see them, they could attack a human and kill them. Because I've a fairly young age was petrified of pigeons.
Okay.
I've only recently got over that after learning about their military exploits. But
they're just my government spies, bro.
mate, so yeah, you're saying they got shot, man. Like, there was pigeons. Like, we used to obviously send pigeons to deliver messages and stuff like that. And during the war, like, we sent fucking a pigeon there to deliver a message, and on the way, like, somebody shot it because they were like, there's one of these fucking messages coming in. Mate, they shot it. Mate, the pigeon kept flying and delivered the message and died as soon as it landed.
What? What? How? But how?
Don't know. They must be able to take a shot, mate. Do you know what I mean?
What was this other bird? See, just before we go into that, basically there is still emus like about that kind of land, but I think obviously over the years they kind of spread out a wee bit more and stuff, and they didn't just occupy that. But basically there is still been no like fucking 40,000 of them or whatever. But what was the other bird that you were talking about there?
Cassowary. So like CASSOWARY. Cassowary. I'm sure that's how you spell it. They're scary things, man.
Oh, the mad blue things.
Aye,
like they've got the blue face and stuff like that.
They can kill humans, mate. They can, like, and a lot of them will charge towards humans if they see them.
Aye.
And they're the same. Like, mate, there's a video of people. There's videos of like guys in trucks. Aye.
They're massive,
mate, and I'm sure they're in Australia as well. I think they're a lot in Africa. But there's videos of guys in trucks trying to get away from them, and they're keeping up with the truck.
No.
Running. That terrifies me.
Are they like, I don't know if I'm talking shit, do they get like a poisonous aspect about them, or like a bite or something?
I'm not
like
sure.
that?
I don't know what they do, mate. But they've like reportedly killed humans. I don't know. It was just a thought I had one night. Like, it always interests me. Like, I know that a lion would kill a human or like a tiger, but I was like,
because when you look at this, you're just like, there's no way that could kill one of us. Do you know what I mean?
But they just like trample air gain that and fucking peck fuck it. Yeah, I don't know.
That's mental, mate. See, when you're talking about just having thoughts last night, right? I just had this thought of like, how mental is it that in Spain, mate, like this full nation and country is just in agreement that like they're all going to go home at a certain point of the day and take a nap and then come back to work.
How have they kept that up through like capitalism and that, and be like, nah, we need a nap?
And then like, but then they have dinner. I didn't even know this. They have dinner at like fucking 10, 11 o'clock at night and stuff like that.
Like, anytime I'm in Spain, like Spain's probably my favourite country, to be honest.
Spain,
like, I've never went to somewhere in Spain being like, this is pish. Like, it's always amazing.
You know what you're getting.
Tapas, nice weather.
Good bud.
Good bud. Smoke clubs that are like pure, you need to like buzz in and then say a thing, and that is
they're kind of legal, kind of illegal.
But they advertise and they're like, you need to be a member, but you get in and they kind of treat you like you're doing something illegal. It's a weird atmosphere.
And they're like pure telling you like obviously you're not really meant to take bud out with you and stuff like that. Mate, I smoked a joint with Big Nasty in Tenerife, bro.
Did you? Was he there? And his
and that BDL. But like, mate, they've literally like all been shut down. Pretty much all of them in Tenerife, because I think basically like a new government or something came in, or a new mayor or whatever, and I don't know what he did, but he put out some mad operation because there was like videos, mate, and like, see the mad Guardia Civil, like, mate, do you need to be like a mad sexy bastard to be in the Spanish post? By the way, I've never seen one ugly Spanish post, but anyways, I got a bit I was just having this mad image, mate, of like these guys in the kitchen.
Getting beat up off him, you're like, here, gorgeous, man.
That's because I seen that video, mate. Man had post like smashed a window in one of these shops, mate, and all of them started diving in and taking all the bud away and like arresting the owners. But it's weird because it is legal, mate, and it's like, mate, I went to one in Tenerife and it was just like a wee family owned like business, mate. Like, that's just like their income and their way of living. Don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
When I was in Vietnam, I used to get
Can you smoke there, eh?
No legally, but it's very easy to just get wherever you want in Vietnam. It's not a heavily policed place. So I used to...
But see, if you got caught with that, sorry, would you not be fucked?
I think so. But also, like, they call... Over there, they call the police the 250k.
Right.
Or the like, foreigners call them that, because... Basically, the Vietnamese dong, right, that's their currency. So the dong. So 30,000 Vietnamese dong is like £1.
Uh-huh.
So that is a crazy rate to like try and figure out. But basically, no, sorry, it's not 250k, it's 500k. So the 500k means that any new day, if you give the police 500,000 of their currency, you'll probably get away with it. So everybody just, because like there's a season in Vietnam where now here it's like the end of the tax year or like. There'll be a certain month or 2 months where the police are just out looking to find people because they're like, we need to get our fucking fines in. They have that, but they just stop foreigners on their everybody there's got a scooter. I think there's 13 million people in Vietnam and there's 20 million scooters.
Right.
It's something crazy. It's
like Amsterdam, but with scooters.
It's in so that's just Ho Chi Minh, that's just Saigon. There's like 13 million and there's more bikes than people. So everybody just, a journey in Vietnam, if you look on a map, right, see when you're in Vietnam and you look at your maps, now you've got like walk, train, drive, and it's all different times. They have a scooter, and because it's all alleys and that, if you look at it, the time a scooter takes to get somewhere, it's like a quarter of the time a car does, because the cars just get stuck in all the scooters.
The traffic and all that.
But so when you're there, see, going back to the bud, so I worked for a company called Tanvan. It was like they were basically an agency for English teachers.
Right.
So it was like Americans, Canadians, fucking Filipinos, like every nationality, Finnish people, and basically how was I getting bud? I can't remember how I was getting it, but then one of the guys, an American guy from Texas, so it was like, you don't know about Miss Money? And I was like...
Miss what?
Miss Money.
Miss Money.
And I'm like, who's Miss Money? He's like, I'll send you a Facebook. And Miss Money is just, I don't know who she is, but she sent me a menu on Messenger and it was like Cali, like it was everything right. But you could get a half ounce of Cambodian weed, which was dog shit, but... you could roll a massive joint in it and it would get you stoned. You know what I mean?
I'm at paro
it
for
was,
that.
It was like £15 for a half ounce, right? So I would get a half ounce of this shit.
Of the Cambodian stuff?
Of Cambodian. And how I would get it is I basically stayed in like a 4-star hotel when I was there, right? There was like an apartment in a hotel, so there was hotel rooms and apartments. And this wee old guy would literally just come to the entrance of the apartment building, and I'd walk down and he'd give me an envelope and I'd give him the money. And you go back up the stair, mate, and I'd open this envelope, there was a half ounce of weed in it, and she would give you a receipt. I was like, what am I going to do with it? Like, be like, excuse me, I've weighed this, and like, who am I going to go to with that? How is it like legislated to be like, actually, my buyer's rights here, you know what I mean? Like, but I miss money, but and I would fucking...
And where would you smoke though? Like, would you be
I had
pure...
a balcony.
So you would just smoke like willy-nilly out in the balcony,
Out in the balcony, mate. I just blast massive joints and that. I'm basically in a hotel.
But that's mad that though, that like, obviously, like if the police were to then catch you, you could just fucking pay them off or whatever.
Aye, mate, yeah, like, I think there's a lot of cases, like, see when you go to like Asia, probably like more Vietnam, Thailand, where not as much like Japan or China or that, but I think... It's totally like rules don't what you learn is when you live there, it's like we are heavily into rules here. Like rules need to be for like the red light, you need to stop in it. There things are a lot more loose. It's just like whatever. Just go there, and if something goes wrong, we'll deal with it. It's very weird to get used to. Like queuing, they don't queue up for things. It's just like whoever gets there first. It's totally different, right? But see, so sorry, I forgot my train of thought there. What were we talking about?
But Vietnam and the bud and
the police.
Where did you smoke at?
I know, just...
You nearly have the bud, bro.
I know. We smoked today. Maybe I should have. No, but mate, it's just totally different. The rules are different. And so when I was moving over there, I got this guy from New York, big bald guy, and his missus would make... YouTube videos about the process of moving here, and like you don't need a degree to work and all this shit. And so I followed him, I'd message him and that, and so when I went over there with my ex, and she like that guy was like, why don't we meet up for a meet? Like, you're here now, we'll meet up and we'll get a meal. I'll take you to this place we go to a lot, and went to this lovely, like, it was like a vegan restaurant. I didn't even know it was vegan, but it was amazing. And then he's like, do you want to come back to our apartment and fucking he's like, I've got a weed pen and that. He's from New York, sound guy and that. I went back and I hadn't smoked in ages because I'd moved there, and I fucking took a draw of this pen. I'm sitting in this apartment and he starts talking about how they're is it like polyamorous, where like they're very free and they can go with other people, and I'm sitting here baked. I've no smoked in months, and I'm like, oh my God, they're going to try and shag us. And I was like freaking out, and I was like, oh my God, he's like led me up here to be like, so you want to get down, guys? And he was a big, massive cunt. And I was like, oh, we're getting fucking shagged in here, man.
Oh my God.
But immediately I was like, we better go up the road. I had to go, mate. I had to go.
I think that could be like the top 3 worst like situations to be in when you're fully pen, bro. You're in a mad random guy's apartment in fucking Vietnam about to get pumped.
I've but mate, it was so good being stoned in Vietnam, because like, see, when you get a taxi there, it's not you can get a taxi, but it's like,
was we tuk-tuk kinds?
It's not even tuk-tuk. It's literally just like, imagine like a Vespa, like a wee moped. So a guy will just come and pick you up. You can go at a 40-minute drive, and it's like £3.
I'd put around mad mountains and jungles and that.
But it's class, because I used to like get baked. Like, mate, I used to go and teach baked. Mate, I had a class, only certain classes, because like if the class, like, I used to teach 3 to 5 year olds. So it was like nursery age, so it was obviously
they're not going in all.
Exactly. So it was very much like go in, sing a song, play a mad simple game. And there was I had a wee student, he was called Peanut. His name translated to Peanut. He was the cutest wee guy ever. He didn't have a clue it was going on with Peanut.
He was baked with you.
So mate, my day in Vietnam was literally, I'd have classes for like 8 till 9:30, and then I'd go home for like 3 or 4 hours, and then I'd have classes for 2:30 to 4:30, and that was my working day. So I would go home and play FIFA and that, and I'd be like, I'll smoke a joint, I've got hundreds of time. And then by the time that I actually had to go, I was like, oh, I'm still majorly baked. And I'd be on the back of this bike.
And you'd go and teach 3 to 5 year olds.
And it was never in it. I'd go in and I'd be pure, hello.
Mate, if anything, mate, we should actually make all teachers of pupils that age go in stoned. That should be mandatory. Sure, you're going to go in a lot fucking fun on that, you know what I mean?
You're a lot looser than that. Can go the other way, but you're like, am I being heavy weird?
Like pure overthinking like every fucking thought process in your head. Like, okay, I need to go and speak to this one and ask if she's doing okay. You know what I mean? No, I'm joking to go to Thailand, mate. I'm dying. Have you been to Thailand?
I've only passed through it in an airport. I've never actually
been to go
outside.
to Thailand. Just when you were talking about like Vietnam and obviously like Bud and all that's legal over there as well. But one of my pals went, mate, and it's mental. Like, it's mental just what we were talking about, like different laws and regulations and stuff like that. So like vapes, obviously, like just tobacco vapes are heavy illegal over there. Heavy illegal over there, right? And basically one of my pals went to like this dispensary over there. Mate, do you know how fucking cheap the bud is over there? Mate, they were getting ounces for like £25, mate. £25-30, and it's like no shit, it's no Cambodian weed, mate. It was like
good bud,
good bud, mate, right? It's what's the place called? It's like a pure famous shop. There's something Buddha or something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Something like that, right? And mate, right enough, you can go on their website and check all the prices, right? And it's like, mate, you can get an ounce for like £32 and stuff like that, right? So he bought an ounce of bud over there, but he had like an actual tobacco vape with him as well. And everybody was like, mate, you can just fly with your bud domestically, right?
Can you?
Mate, so he went through, and obviously he's in the airport and he's obviously stoned in that, and he's starting to hit a bit of panic. He's like, mate, I've got an ounce of bud in my fucking duffel bag that I'm about to take through the security. But he's like Googling it, mate, and fucking obviously people said like that they've done it and that. So he put the duffel bag through the thing, and then the mad like police or whatever, the security officer pulls him out. And he opens up his bag and he just whips the ounce out and just puts it to the side, and he's like, this vape, you can't have that, and put it in the bin, mate, and just put the ounce back in the bag, and mate, off they went, just fucking sit and travel about it, mate.
It's mental. Certain countries are so against vapes.
Sorry, I thought you were about to say against bud, but against vapes, I know.
Like, the bud thing is like, okay, I don't from my standpoint, I don't get it, but you're used to that being sort of dodgy. But people turn like that, like being like, mate, what the fuck's this crystal bar doing in here? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that like, you can take ounces through, but that's where they draw the line. Is a fucking like a crystal bar or whatever. It's mental. Obviously, I'm just back from LA, right? Mate, I'm going back in like 2 months or something. In fact, next month. I'm going back next month, mate. I can't fucking wait, bro.
How was it? Like, what's the? Because in my head, like, I just expect it to be amazing, but also quite piping.
No, mate, like, not in it. I know why you mean that, obviously, because I kind of thought in my head, like, am I going to be going over here and there's like hundreds of mad streamers and all that cutting about and like cutting spotting about with tripods and all that? Mate, I genuinely didn't see like one person or one kind of, you know, thing
Where
like that.
were you, like, staying there?
I wouldn't recommend where I stayed.
Skid Row, mate.
Oh, mate, we've seen a few fentfolds, bro. We've seen a few, mate. So we obviously went to Coachella, right? And we were staying in Koreatown, right? My pal booked up the Airbnb, and like, don't get me wrong, mate. Like, see the actual apartment, like building and room and stuff like that. It was lovely. Like, it was dead modern and that. But just in terms of the area, what I keep saying to people, but right, you obviously see loads of things online and stuff like that. And where I stayed, whilst there was like maybe quite a lot of like characters about, if you want to say, like mad cunts like proper just folded over, mate, full of fent and all that, and like mad bams, you never felt like you were in danger, mate. So see, like, it just had obviously a different vibe to it where we stayed, but I would say characters is the right word. So they're obviously like, mate, we walked out the apartment and we went round the corner and there was just like a mad guy standing there like waiting in the pavement and stuff like that, right? So you did see things like that, but at the same time, you never felt like unsafe or dangerous.
Like they weren't trying to interact with you, they were just in their own wee bubble.
Nah, mate, no, that fucked as well, mate. Like, so this is what I was going to get onto. So obviously we went to Coachella and we were driving back for Coachella and it was heavy late. It was like 1 or 2 in the morning or whatever, pitch black. Mate, they don't have like lampposts over there, mate. There's like no street lights. You see, like when you're actually going through the wee kind of like suburban kind of neighbourhoods and that, it's like it's heavy dark, right? And my pal was driving, but mate, we're shattered. Like I think when did we leave? We left at like 7 that morning, mate, and we got back and it was like fucking 2 or whatever it was. And my pal was like shattered, mate. He was actually giving me the fear in the motorway because I'm like, I was just sitting in the passenger seat and all you would feel was the fucking him going in a hard shoulder. I'm like, mate, please fucking wake up. But anyways, so we go back into actual LA, mate. I was just sitting on my phone and mate, my pal like fucking shouts and does an emergency stop. Mate, we were just going down this road and there was just a mad guy like bent folded like in the middle of the like road though, and obviously we didn't see him until like the last second. We were like, oh my god, but fucking
man, you killed a guy.
I know. Over for the best holiday, mate, and you kill a mad fent folder, but probably just drive away, mate.
Fuck it, mate.
Fuck it, mate. Fuck it,
mate. Let's go and hand it back in.
But no, going back to your actual question, mate, it's unbelievable, mate. And obviously, like, you're driving about and you kind of just recognise loads of places for GTA and stuff like that.
Aye.
But it's just amazing, mate, because it's got like everything. Like, you've got a city side of it, and then if you want to go see like Hollywood, you can go do that. But then if you want to go for like a different kind of vibe, if you want to say, you get like Venice Beach and Santa Monica Pier, but then you can drive like half an hour to like Malibu and stuff like that. And I think,
do they all feel different, they wee places?
Aye, 100%, mate. Like the likes of Venice Beach and that, it was so cool, mate. It's just, again, quite quirky and full of mad characters. And we went down, we took a joint down, mate, and obviously you can just puff anywhere. Like, this is amazing, mate. Like,
see, because I don't think I've been to a country. I'm going to Canada, but I don't think I've been to a country. Like, I've been to the Dam where it's like you can smoke it but you're not meant to, but it's kind of like, but I've never been to a country where they're like,
it's the weirdest feeling ever,
I
bro.
remember the first time I went to the Dam, I came out of a coffee shop. I was only 18, I came out of a coffee shop and we were walking back up to the apartment and I seen the police and I bawled my green and I was like, wait, I don't need to do that.
Like your sound, but it's the weirdest feeling ever, because the first time I experienced it was when I went to New York, obviously, with my missus in December. So we went into this wee shop and it was maybe about 10 at night or something, and I walked out and there was just like 2 police like sitting there, and I just went up to him, mate, and I was like, mate, can I like smoke this like anywhere I want? He's like, anywhere you want, dog. The police. And I was like, bro, this
two criteria when we're picking somewhere to go on holiday, it's like, is bud available there somehow, and how good's their aquarium? And then they two things sort of mesh in with each other very well, mate.
Have you been to Barca?
Aye.
Oh mate, they've got quite a good aquarium.
I didn't go to the aquarium, I don't think.
Mate, that was a good attraction. It was we went over for my birthday like a few years ago. Obviously you get hundreds of bud and Barca and like actual cafes and stuff like that. But it was my birthday and I kept pestering Megan, like she'd hate doing shit like that, bro. Like going to a museum or going to an aquarium and
really?
that.
Aye.
She'd hate shit like that, mate. Whereas I'd be like, aye, let's go see sharks and that, right? So we went to the aquarium, but oh mate, it was big, mate, but you could tell that like nobody touched it in about 20 years, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Just
like,
very old and that. Quite sad in a way, but...
Oh, mate, 100%, bro, but I suppose I'm in.
Mate, nothing beats being baked to you and not seeing a bit of sea life, mate. Like, see, just being like, that fucking stingray. And
No, I was just about to say that, mate. That's one of my biggest, like, phobias and fears and, like, see how things that, like, make you feel heavy, uncomfortable, mine's is see those flatfish and stingrays, mate. I can't look at one, mate. Seeing they've got the wee face underneath, like, oh, bro, it makes me fucking... Oh, mate, it makes me pure shiver, do you know what I mean?
Aye, there's... they might be my least favourite. I'm into... I'll take a jellyfish, mate. I like seeing the jellyfish. I like... And obviously with the sharks...
I'm an avid shark, like, connoisseur.
Yeah.
And do you know what does heavy interest me, mate? Which I do genuinely believe. I believe that megalodons are still a thing.
And they're just that deep that we don't know they're there.
100%, mate, because there's been like loads of like instances where obviously like the biggest like animal on the planet of mammals, like the blue whale and stuff. I think it's a blue whale, isn't it? It's like one of the whales anyways.
One of them, aye.
One of the fucking whales. But mate, there's been so many of them that have like washed up on shore, that like bite marks out of them, that like the only plausible explanation is like a megalodon. But obviously they weren't like a fantasy, they 1,000% were real obviously back in the day. But then obviously because of fucking climate change and all that, bro, you know, like the oceans obviously started to get like colder or warmer, whatever way it is, so people obviously just think that they've went to the bottom, but we can't even discover like the depths of the ocean.
We don't know what's there, bro. Like there's you know about the Greenland shark?
The blind one?
I think it's like the oldest living creature in the world. It's
right.
like 400 odd year old, mate. And they're just right at the bottom, bro, just locked.
I don't... You're like, mate, what are they doing, mate? Or like basking sharks, mate, they're fried. Because, like, mate, they actually exist in Scotland.
Aye.
And it's like, all they do is just swim a bit blind with their like, mouth open, drink water all day. Did you ever do, like, basking shark in English in school?
No.
No, did you ever, like, have you heard of, is it Norman McCaig? Or Robert McCraig or something?
Who's that, man? Is that the shark's name?
Basically, I think it was this like old Scottish like poet or something like that. Let me see,
get a laptop,
bro. I'm just a one-man band here, mate. Just sitting with my laptop and that bit.
We're always like Jamie pull up, up, mate.
Just me with a laptop. But I think it's Norman McCaig, if I'm right in saying so, because he was a Scottish poet, and basically in our higher... No way, mate. I thought that was him with a dude, but a snout. He was a hero, mate, didn't he?
That's him in California, man. So what did he do?
So he was a Scottish poet, but for our higher English in like 5th or 6th year or something, we had to select like one of his poems, and he had a poem and it was just about like basking sharks.
Nice.
Why has he got that? Basking sharks. When were you in school? Are you a couple of years older than me?
29, bro.
You're 29, bro? What? You don't look it, man.
Thanks, man. Skincare and that.
The big 3-0 next year.
Nearly, mate. I think I've got to China for it, man.
Off to China, mate. Off, that'll be class, mate. Whereabouts are you thinking?
Shanghai.
Where?
Shanghai.
That would be dynamite, mate. You and the missus?
Aye, mate. Well, hit that as soon as I get off a plane and that, mate.
Mate, see my gran, mate, right? I went round to hers, like, it was like last month or whatever, and my gran, I don't really know how to describe it to people. Like, she is all there. Like, no, she's 100% all there. She's like 81, 82, so she is sharp, but she also does heavy daft things as well. But I don't know why I said she's all there. As if like she's losing that marble. She's completely fucking there mentally, right? But she just does a lot of stupid shit, mate. And she'll
as
say,
you do when you get
aye, right. So her and my grandpa. When he was here, fucking hell, that was a weird way of wording. My grandpa's not here anymore, but when he was here, they went to China, right, a good couple of times and stuff, and they loved it and that. So obviously when my gran went over, she done all the bounds and stuff like that, right? So mate, she says, I went round like a couple of weeks ago, and she says to me, she's like, I was at the dump the other day, right, and basically she had like heavy bags of like gardening waste or something, right? And she was struggling to get out of her car, and she turned round and seen this guy, and she was like, excuse me, could you help me, right? And the guy's like in his 40s or something like that, right? He's like, yeah, no worries. And he takes the bags out of the car, and she looks at him and thinks, oh, he looks Chinese, right? So she then turns round and decides to fucking hand by the sides, bow, and go like that, thank you to the guy, right? And I'm dumping rent through, bro, right? And I was like, Gran, like, what was his reaction back to? I was like, oh, he just gave me a bit of a funny look, and I was like, aye, because he's probably for fucking Paisley, like, not for China, right? And then she goes like that, you know how, like, older people just say mad outrageous shit. She's like, no, he'll be one of the ones that work down in those takeaways in the town. I'm like, oh.
And they dumped during the day, takeaway, right? Aye.
Oh man, she's crazy, man, crazy. But China, aye, that would be, aye, that would be
in the
unbelievable.
airports in China, you can scan your face and it tells you what gate you're at.
I don't know if I like that.
I don't
know if I like that, mate. I feel like I'd get heavy against all that
I'm
stuff.
not trying to get bud in China, put it that way, mate.
Nah, because like all their mad social security systems and all that. But also as well, right, have we just been lied to a lot about all these places? Like, do you know, like Speed, the streamer? He went to China, mate, and it was like, you pure have this image of China in your head, I think, that like, it's going to be this mad super serious, strict place and nobody can do anything, but mate, it was fucking class.
No, I know, because like anytime I mention like I'm dying to go to China, especially to like maybe my dad or like whoever, like older people, they're like, oh, but watch yourself. And I'm like, no, I think they think about China as like North Korea. You know what I mean? Like you go there and there's parades or not. And I'm like, no, it's like amazing. It looks amazing.
See about North Korea, but as well, I'm just letting my head like, do we actually know what it is 100% like over there? Do you know what I mean? It's like we constantly get told by like the likes of like the UK and USA leaders that like these people, they're the bad guys and they do all the bad shit. When you're like, we've been doing some pretty horrendous shit for a long time.
They don't like preface it with like, and also we done like the British Empire.
We get pure brainwashed into thinking that like they're heavy, evil and terrible, and you're like, we've done some pretty shite stuff over the years, man.
Yeah, might actually be up to some shit.
It was like, obviously, see the whole Iran stuff and all that, right? And obviously, with Trump and he bombed it and that, right? You're like, his reasonings for bombing that were, right, Iran's under this mad apartheid state and stuff, and we need to like free the people. So it's like, oh, you're a slave and you're getting raped 24/7. I'll just bomb your house, mate. And like, how the fuck is that helping anything,
I know.
Oh my god!
I've been listening to this Chinese professor talk about that war, right? And he does an episode every week about. He basically keeps saying there's no way America can win this war, because he was saying like they done the most stupid thing ever. So the first place that they bombed was like Tehran, right? Which is, if you imagine, even in Scotland, where the most liberal sort of people, like liberal-minded people, are always in the city centre. Like you go into the city centre in Glasgow, people are going to be a lot more like inclusive and open-minded, and you know you can bring your dog into the cafe and all that, right? But if you go to the outskirts, that's when people are getting a bit racist. That, you know what I mean? Because they're still like, you know, they're older-minded. They've not moved with the times, and they think everybody in the cities are like, you know, they're gone mental, man. Like, you want black people? You have your nut. Like they're so. The people in Iran that would actually support overthrowing that government are all in Tehran, and he was like, I'm going to bomb there. So now he's just left. He's left all the people at the outskirts that are the actual extremists that are like backing the Shah and that. He went about it the total opposite way.
Mental. And then like even like, mate, see, seeing like the likes of Dubai getting bombed and that was crazy, mate. Because like it was actually quite a power play from Iran, because they've not really got beef with anybody, mate, and they were obviously known as like the kind of, you know, the safe haven, if you want to say, like the Middle East, you know what I mean? So like for them to actually then bomb them and be like, oh, fuck yous, because I think America have like, loads of property and investments and stuff there. And
I think so the area that they bombed, like apparently why they bombed there is to put pressure on America, because like something like 80 or 90% of the world's oil comes from there, right? So like Japan, so like all these big countries, Japan, China, they all get their oil from the Middle East, most of them, right? So if they bomb there and they can get oil from there, then it means that all these other countries, bigger countries, will go to America and be like, stop doing this shit because we need our oil. So they're kind of going about it like they've hot them, so like all the bigger boys come and go, stop that shit.
That's quite fried, mate. I didn't actually think about it like that.
It's interesting, mate. It's like, and he was talking about how, like you imagine how, like say you're in a school, right, and there's a bully, and there's and like, he's got his two wee pals or whatever, and they sort of run the cafeteria a bit, right? So like, and he goes, do you know what? I'm going to start charging people to just sit in here and have their lunch. So every day you go into lunch, you get you
can take that if you want, bro.
That might be yep.
Aye, so.
Oh wait, I think that's the fucking it.
Oh, my El Dorado guy. Is he here? Is he coming here?
I told him to come here
at
12, mate.
We're going to wrap up literally in a wee minute anyways, bro.
Right, sound, I'll finish that and I can just phone.
Cool.
So, you imagine, like in a school lunch hall, right? You get a bully, right? And everybody knows he's the top dog, right? He's the big dog. And there's two other wee guys that run about with him, right? And they're like, aye. So, like, they're a wee gang. And he has it in his head that, right, okay, I run this place, so I can make a bit of money at this. So every time a student comes in here to eat their lunch, I'll charge them £2. So everybody in that school knows that every time I come in here, I need to give him £2 or else I'm going to get battered, right? Or like something bad's going to happen. So everybody's playing by this guy's rules. But then a new kid comes into the school and he goes and sits his lunch and they're like, oh, here, he's not fucking paid his £2. So then they go up and they're like, here, you need to pay fucking £2. And he goes, why? And they're like, because we run this and he goes, nah, I'm not going to do that. And they're like, well, you fucking better do it tomorrow. And then he comes in tomorrow, doesn't he do it again? And then, so the bully's like, right, sound, we'll fight then. And the bully will punch him, maybe get the better of him. But then what it's done for the rest of the world is they've seen that, wait, we don't actually need to play by their rules.
Yes.
Well, we might get a bloody nose, but you can stand up against them. And they're saying that's what Iran are doing.
Okay.
So like it might ignite other nations that don't want to play by America's rules, because before they were scared because they were like, obviously we need to play by the rules. Like you can't affect America, whereas now they're like, right, okay, we need to.
It's fucking crazy, fucking up. That was fun, man. That was fun.
It was fun.
I've been doing like loads, but they've been quite like interview if you want to say and stuff like that, so it was nice to have you in and just
you keep getting people in that could punch fuck at you, mate. Sean Clancy, mate. Sean Weir, you shite yourself, big Sean Weir in here.
The Sean Weir one was crazy, bro. He's such a good guy, man, such a good guy. But obviously it was the first time I'd met him and stuff, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, it was quite heavy after it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's a
hearing
lot,
his story and stuff, bro. Like,
what a fucking traumatic life, man.
Mate, the shit that he's been through, mate, is crazy. And like,
no wonder he just goes and punches cunts about, mate.
I know, but it's like, obviously it got to the point, no, that he went through all these traumatic experiences and he tried to kill himself. But then it was his pal was like, mate, you need to go away into this mad Amazon rainforest in the ayahuasca, mate, and like completely changed his life. So, mate, he went from basically like trying to kill himself after going through all these traumatic events to taking ayahuasca, and then within about a year, he's like top of BKFC, mate. He's never had a fight before this, like an actual fight. Like, he's obviously fought in that and stuff as well, but he's never I think he'd done like one like kind of amateurish MMA bout or something, and now he's like, mate, he's massive, mate. Conor McGregor shared his story the other day and it was like, let's get to work, boss, because he signed that new like contract fight deal and stuff. But bro, I'll tell you one wee snippet about it, right, what I was terrified about. So first of all, I absolutely shat myself, right, because obviously the lovely guests that come into the Don Diaries studio, they sit there and they obviously sit behind my signed fucking Invincible Celtic top, right? He was ahead of this like underground fight and stuff, etc. I was just like, mate, I'm going to take that down, bro. But a couple of people asked me why I took it down, right? And see, to be fair, he was off, mate. Should have just left it up or whatever. He was sound. But I knew we were going to have like a bit of a deep conversation, and I knew that I didn't want to like all his clips, mate. There's like a mad signed Invincible stuff right behind him. right behind him, man. But one thing, right, that before we started, like, it kind of came in and stuff like that, and I've got a wee coffee machine there, bro, you know, and I asked him if he wanted the coffee and stuff like that, right? And I usually do have like mad prep cards and notes if I'm going into like a mad like interview like that. So I've got about four or five cards, mate, sitting right there. And I've went just over to the corner of the room to make his coffee, mate, right? And I've turned round, bro, and he's just sitting reading all the cards, mate. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, what have I wrote in that? like, whatever, like, do you know what I mean? Because I'm probably just shorthanding stuff and all that, right?
Punching fuck out cunts, how's that?
Like, talk about demons and all that. Like, oh my God, right, he was so sound, mate.
Was
such
he,
a good guy. Oh, mate, such a good guy, mate. And obviously, like, in a mad serious way, like, he probably shouldn't even be here, mate, with everything that he's been through and that. So, like, the fact he's heavy turned his life around, and it's because of this mad, like, poison for, like, a bark leaf in the Amazon rainforest. Like, it's a pretty crazy story. But
ayahuasca stories are great. We had a guy in from my work that went and done ayahuasca.
Who was it again?
Just a guy I work with. He's the engineering, and so he's like the inspector. So he has all these mad crazy machines that check the parts that down to like 0.0001 of a millimetre and that's just his job. But he's a lovely big guy, and one day I was in there and he was showing me a bit of it, and got talking to him and that, and fucking now that way you're kind of gauging getting stoned but mushies.
Like, can you join, bro?
And then he ended up he told me done ayahuasca, and he came on and he told me that so his mum and dad really struggled to have a kid before he was born. Went through hundreds of like just problems with it, and eventually he was born. So he went and done the ayahuasca, but before he went, his mum bought him like a wee zip, just bought him a wee £10 zipper to wear for like Asda or something. So, take that way. He's like, oh, right, no bother, aye. So he took that with him, and he said he took the ayahuasca and he starts kind of tripping. He's in a hospital, right, and he's looking down and he can see this woman, and she's holding a baby, and he's like, fuck, like he could feel the emotion and the love and the relief of having this baby, and he's looking at it and he's going, fucking, he says like he could feel her arms, like every time she would grab him, he could feel the love and like the protection she wanted for him and that. And then he was like, wait, that's my ma. And then he looked and he could see himself as a baby, and he said like once he done that, it kind of took him out it a bit. And when he came out it, he realised he had the hoodie that his mum gave him, and he was cradling it like that. When he woke out it, he was like holding it, and he was like, whoa, what the fuck? He's seen himself being born.
And that's so crazy that you say that, right? Because that's exactly kind of what happened to Sean. So he went through all these mad traumatic experiences, right? But then when he took the ayahuasca, he actually encountered, he went into another realm, mate, and he encountered like an actual demon, right? And he was like, see like the mad cunt out of Insidious that's got like the big long grey fingers and all that? It was that, mate, right? Because at first he was saying it was like a strobe light, and at first, when he took the ayahuasca, it was like all these kind of geometric shapes, and he felt amazing. He's like, that's just class, mate. He was like, just felt like an ecstasy was coming on, do you know what I mean? And you were on a mad come up and that. And he then said that obviously he kind of shut his eyes and he heard this mad like turret, and it was going like, and he was like, oh, that's class, son. And he opened up his eyes and he seen this mad strobe light, and he was like, what the fuck's that? And he's like, mate, just shut your eyes, like you're freaking out, you're hitting a badge and that. And then as he opened his eyes, it was kind of getting closer and closer, and then when he opened his eyes this last time, this like it wasn't a strobe light, and it was this demon. It was like right in his face, mate, right? And basically this demon was showing him round all these like past experiences that he had. So like, mate, one of his best friends, the first suicide that he had to deal with was his best friend when they were 11, mate. His 11-year-old best pal killed himself, and basically this like demon took him back to when he was a kid, and he was like crying in his bed because they'd just been told like, Aidan or whatever his name is, just went up to heaven and stuff, and he was like pure sitting there like, I've got no idea why, like why is my friend not here anymore? And like, have you seen Interstellar?
Aye, one of my favourite movies, man.
So see like how it was almost like the kind of bit at the end, and like he's going back and seeing himself. It was like this demon was doing that to him so that he could go back and talk to this kid. Mate, I've got mad goosebumps. So he could go back and talk to this kid and tell him like, you know, things are going to be all right, and like talk him through these experiences, right? And so there was a few different wee kind of examples, and it was just very, very clear he just came off the back of trying to kill himself. So this demon was trying to show him then what life would be like if he went ahead with that decision. So like it was showing him things in like the future. So like his wee lassie like growing up, and it was her wedding, and he's in the house pure, I hate to say like pure being Jack the Lad, and she's getting ready, blah blah blah. And he's like, the car pulls up outside, and he's like pure squeezing into the car, and he's like, fucking hell, it's like a tight squeeze in here and that, right? And then they get down to the church, and he goes in, and he's like, everybody's pure bawling their eyes out and that. but he's walking her down the aisle, and then he realises that it's like his dad's walking his daughter down the aisle because he'd killed himself. So this demon was trying to show him, mate, like, this is actual what's going to happen in the future if you go ahead with this, right? It's fucking nuts, bro. Like,
wow.
Right? So there's one more thing, mate, that makes this even more mental, right? And it was so crazy speaking to him. She'll get this mad, like 6'4", 5", like, you know, killer in the sense of like a fighter and stuff, but he was getting dead, like deep and emotional with you and stuff. So he then said, right, so I can understand a wee bit with the demon showing him things in the past, because people could maybe say that he's had that already in his mind and stuff, right? But basically before he went out to the rainforest, his papa was passing away, like, in real life, right? And he wasn't sure about going in case he missed his papa dying and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But all his family were like, you need to go and do this, you need to go and sort yourself out. So on the second night of doing ayahuasca, this demon came back, and basically they like teleported to his papa's house, right? But it was like exactly the way his papa's house was. Like he had this mad chair, and it was like always the chair he sat on and stuff, right? So it was like exactly like this, right? And basically Sean was sitting on the couch across his papa with this demon, and his papa started to make this kind of like drooping like face, but it wasn't like a supernatural one, if you know what I mean. It was just like as if maybe like a stroke, something like that, right? And Sean went up and kissed him to see if he was okay, and he passed away, and he died, and this demon showed him his papa passing away, right? So this is what I was like, mate, there's got to be more to life than we're just here, nothing else exists or whatever. He then goes home, right? He does the ayahuasca, he's pure sorted out, and he's like, oh my God, I feel amazing, I don't want to die, and blah, blah, blah. And he goes to his papa's house, mate, right? And he's sitting on the couch, and his papa starts making this face, right? And he's like, nah, like, what the fuck? And he phones his mom, and he's like, Mum, you need to get up there, you need to get up here, Papa's going to die. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, how the fuck do you know that? And the mum comes up, and he's like, ah, and he goes up. And his papa was ill and stuff anyways, so Sean goes up to him, mate, and he kisses his forehead, and he takes his last breath, mate, the exact same way this demon showed him the week before, mate. He showed him the exact way he was going to pass away, mate. So do you know what I'm saying, in the sense of like, I get the whole kind of past things and then maybe future, because it could just be in your imagination. How's he showed him this exactly how it was about to happen, mate? Just for taking this, so you blend this bark from the Amazon rainforest in a bush, and you blend this into a potion that you drink, but it has like these powerful experiences like that. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Oh, mate, is that my phone? Shit, so bro, we've been going for so long.
No, I don't know.
Sorry, we just got a heavy Friday a bit. Yeah, crazy, isn't it, mate? Crazy.
Wild, mate.
Crazy.
I mean, well, I'm doing mushies tonight, mate.
Are you?
Aye.
Oofed.
That's another thing, but I was thinking about that last night, because I knew I'm doing them tonight. I'm like, how, you know how like they sort of outlaw them, they're like, you can't do these because what if you go insane or whatever, but that doing mushrooms is like a sort of lower version of that, where I equate it to like, you know, you've got your business and you've got this, and
yep.
you're always thinking like, am I doing well? Could I do better? Every human has these things in their mind about how their life's going, and how should I be ahead of this, or am I doing all right? And you've got this constant battle in your head. And I feel like once you take mushrooms it allows you to view your life as like a neutral person. Okay. So you're like, wait, hold on. I remember the first time was fucking crazy. The second time I done them, I remember I was in my flat, and I remember getting into the toilet, and I remember like, I'd done the toilet, and then I was like washing my hands, and there's like a mirror while I'm washing my hands, and I remember looking in the mirror and being like, you're actually doing your best. And like, doesn't it matter about like, if the podcast goes here, or how much money, or what, any of that. I was like, literally the only thing that actually matters is you're trying to do well, and you're trying to be a good person. Beyond that, there is actually nothing else that even matters one bit. Aye. And I remember having that and being like, fucking hell. And every time I take mushrooms, I feel like I need to take them maybe every 3-4 months.
I was just about to say that. You said to me in the past, folks, I've never taken them or anything, but you said to me in the past before that you take them maybe every couple of months because you feel like it just kind of like maybe resets you a wee bit. Jamie
described it the best way I've ever heard. So like, you imagine, and this is actual what it does to your brain, but this has got a visual representation of it. So you imagine when you're born, right, it snows in your brain, right, and then your thought. Sorry.
Go back again.
So
the snowing in the brain.
So you imagine when you're born, it snows in your brain. So you've got a sheet of snow in your brain, and then throughout your life, you have these experiences that equate things. So like you grew up a Celtic fan, so you go, right, Celtic good, Rangers bad, and it's leaving all these footprints. But obviously it happens with like anxious thoughts as well, and bad thoughts, and thinking negatively about yourself because maybe somebody slagged you about this thing, so then you think negatively about that, and you imagine all these footprints in your brain are like, this is this and this is this. When you take mushrooms, it's like a fresh sheet of snow goes down, so it allows you to like get outside your own head and be like, wait, that's actually sound, and why am I worrying about that? Why am I doing that? It allows you to like come out of that and then go, actually everything's good, and actually my life's sweet. And then for like the first time I done mushrooms was me and Jamie went to record at Pavilion Festival for the first ever like Ewan McVicker's festival. Yep. We went there and we bought like a chocolate bar to like split up between us
with mushies in it.
With mushies in it. And but Jamie was like, we're going to need 2 bars, but like the bars themselves were like £70 or something, and I was like, if my drug math's all right, we should need to spend like £140 to be a bit tripping. So we ended up only getting 1 bar, thank fuck. So we went and recorded there during the day, and it was the most, it put into perspective about how people perceive our podcast, because like we were there and we were walking about with a camera and it's Ewan's festival, but the amount of people that were just like, because you're in with thousands of people, so the amount of people that were recognising us and being like, oh, listen all the time, and it was such a like endorphin rush.
Yep.
And then we go back and then we didn't think we were taking this much, we probably took about 5 grams of mushrooms each,
that's a lot.
which is like, that's like needing like the heroic dose where you're like,
yep,
can't even see in front of you. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like literally
and
just...
using it at the Pavilion Festival.
Mate, and we done it in a caravan at Craig Tara. We stayed up there, right? Mate, and honestly, like, I've never been that out in my own brain. Like, I remember I was trying to grasp onto things that were part of what I perceive my reality to be. So like Celtic and Rangers were playing the next day, and I was like, Celtic and Rangers, and every time I would think about something that was something that I would equate to who I am as a person in this physical world,
yep,
it would appear in my mind and disintegrate.
Aye.
So like, I was thinking about my bird, and then she would appear in my brain and then disintegrate. Celtic, my job, everything was just appearing and then just falling to bits.
Aye, because that's not like actual you.
And that's what it was trying to tell me. It was saying, this isn't how you would describe yourself. Oh, I like Celtic and I like doing this and I do a podcast. That's no you. There's merit your core than that. And then what really blew my mind the most about them was the next day, because we'd done so much, I have never felt so anxiety free in all my life. Now I don't really count myself as an anxious person, but I have never felt just sheer bliss. Like, we went down to get something to eat at Craig Tara, we went and get like a chippy or something, and walking down, like, now naturally if you're in this room yourself, you're going to feel probably no anxiety. You're in here, there's nothing that can affect you, whatever. If you go in a really crowded place, naturally your body kind of heightens. You're like, wait, something, even if you're not consciously thinking about it, in your subconscious you're going, right, wait, what if, like, and I'm next in the queue, you're having all these thoughts, mate, just bliss, mate. Like, I've never felt anything like that in my life, and I went, these things are actually magical, mate.
And it's mad you having like the realisation when you were doing like the Pavilion thing that you maybe just needed that wee kind of reminder to be like, mate, a load of people listen to us, a load of people love us, like, you know, people look up to us, people want to get entertained by us, and yeah, it's mad that this, and I know that you're kind of like this myself, because we're pretty similar, that we are super harsh on ourselves, and you're always maybe constantly thinking of like the next thing. And like, for example, like you sitting there about, like you're saying about, you know, tenants and Eldorado and we're getting all these brand deals, the first thing that you said after that was, I don't know why. And it's like you're shitting on yourself right away, whereas I'm looking at it from like an external standpoint, and I'm like, bro, people love you, you've got a massive audience, you're massive in Scotland as well, and you know, people find you hilarious, they love listening to you, you're genuine, you're real, you're relatable and stuff. So it's interesting that like you obviously then take this psychedelic thing and it almost like knows that's what you need to be told and that's what you need to hear. And it was interesting when you said that, because obviously I've not taken mushies, but see, over the last like 6, 7, 8 months or so, and like since I've started the season and etc., and I'm not saying this to be like a pure wank or anything, but like I feel like I've been in flow state, mate. And like, see, in terms of the way that my mindset is, exactly what you were saying, in the sense that like, see, beforehand, mate, I would get like so many negative thoughts creeping in, and you know, anxiety and worrying about things that hadn't happened, and etc., etc. And I've realised that is like the ego, if you want to say, and they're not actually real. Like these things that anybody's worrying about or overthinking in the future, obviously you can worry about certain things, but overthinking scenarios and getting anxious, none of it is actual like reality. So see, when I have like any sort of thoughts like that, I genuinely, in my head, I just bat it away mentally, and I'm like, that's a bad thought, not a negative one, I'm not going to attach to that.
Exactly.
And mate, see, over the past like 8 months, bro, like you then have things that you maybe want to achieve business wise, things like this, like maybe the seasoning, like, and again, I'm not saying this to be like just big up me or whatever, but like this went for like a mad idea in like November, and then like you then put the actual graft in alongside having the mindset side of things of it to be like, no, I'm going to fucking make this work. Because I think it then kind of ties into like the kind of law of manifestation and all that. But I think a lot of people maybe think you just say something, mate, and click your fingers and it'll appear, but it's like having the right mindset behind then doing the actions to achieve something. Do you know what I mean? This is getting fucking deep, but you know what I'm trying to say. It was just interesting hearing you say that about the mushrooms, and it was like just about the negative thoughts, because I was saying this to Megan, obviously, mate, I'd say hundreds of fried shit to Megan, so I'd be like, nobody else to say it to, but I was just like, your name's Megan, but you're not actual Megan.
Somebody just...
Like, that's a name that's been assigned to you. So, like, a lot of people would be like, I am Megan, and I am, you know, whatever I do for work. But, like, you're no that person. Like, you're no... You know what I'm trying to say?
Like, that's just stuff that the outside world has put on you. To be like, right, you applied for this job, and this person decided you go to it. But see, that doesn't make it part of you.
100%. And see, obviously, just before we actually started recording, you were saying that you're not really doing PT anymore and stuff like that. Like, I'm not, and it's because I really want to pursue things like this and chase this, etc. But I've obviously... There's loads of different things. I've obviously been doing it for years and years and stuff like that. But over the last few years, when I'd done my podcast and stuff, and I was like making content, I always held back a good bit from really like going and pursuing that, because I had this kind of connotation, like, I'm a PT, so I need to like be dead regimented, and I can't post it, I'm out having a pizza on my story, and I need to like act a certain way. But then I'm like, mate, that isn't me. Do you know what I mean? So see, like things like this, like the podcast, I'm not making pure millions of pounds or anything off of this. I've obviously got amazing sponsors like Black Rooster and stuff that can help me with it, but like, it just gives me that like mad drive, and also at the same time, mate, I just enjoy doing it. Do you know what I mean?
That is the mate. Like, when people talk to us about like doing the podcast and that, they're like, what's the most like important thing? Is it the guest or that? And I'm like,
we were just getting heavy deep there, bro, but my SD card just ran out people, so I was like, mate, we were spitting there, bro, because like, I didn't think we were going to go on that long there, and then we just started talking about ayahuasca and fucking...
mate, I could talk about it for days. But what I was saying before that finishes is basically, people ask like what the most important thing is, and I'm like, you need to enjoy it, right? See, if you're doing a podcast, you need to enjoy it, because it's people on the outside watch it and go, and I done it before I done a podcast. I went, that'd be class to just turn up and talk to somebody for a couple of hours, and then you post it and people like it.
Not as easy as that,
mate. It's a graft, and obviously there's bigger grafts in the world. I'm not saying like, oh my god, I'm so hard done by, but there's a lot of time in your brain that it takes up, and you need to enjoy what you're doing. And that's why like people say to us, why don't you get Hingy on, or what about him? And I'm like, people know who they are, like, but I don't know if I'd actually enjoy sitting talking to them. Like, I'd rather get somebody obscure on that people don't even know, just because I'm going to enjoy it. Because then I think that comes through when people are watching it. Like, people can tell. We had Killian Sheridan on, and I think he's went out and said that he didn't really enjoy doing it either. And it was partly our mistake a wee bit. But I was like, right, He used to play for Celtic. A lot of people in Glasgow, people probably clicking this because he played for Celtic, and they're like, wonder if there's Celtic stories or whatever. So I kind of based the full interview in football, and I think he came away for that going, I don't really like talking about my career, and I didn't really enjoy talking about it either. And I was like, that's when you learn. And then we had like Richard Dixon on, sort of finance guy, and we're like, what's the most amount of money you've ever fucking spent one night? And I'm like, that's not us. Like, we don't care about things like that. And after that, I remember we were like, we're only getting cunts on that doesn't matter how well known they are. It's like, when they come down here, see that day that we're going to do that. Are we going to be buzzing to do it?
Aye.
And that's basically the whole basis.
And it's so interesting that you say that, because like I remember obviously like you've always been great with me, and I always say that to people as well. I'm not like trying to bum you up or anything, but everybody always asks me what are the actual like and stuff, because they obviously watch you, and I'm like, mate, the exact same way they are on camera is the exact same way they are in person.
Aye.
And what I love about you and Jamie, it's like there's no sort of like bitterness there or jealousy. So if I ever come to you for advice or whatever, you're happy to give me it and you want to see me do well, etc, etc. And I'd always remember the thing that stood out, because I fell into that trap the last time I done the podcast. I like, I'm going to get him on because he's deemed as like a kind of known person.
Like a
I'm
celebrity.
sitting there and I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck about this. Like, Jen up. Like, I actually, like, I'm just sitting trying to like sound all sensible and serious and ask all these questions. I'm like, I don't care, mate.
You don't even feel like you hear yourself say something and you're like,
aye, and then in a roundabout way, just going back to my original point, this is why I love doing this, because I feel like I'm just being myself, mate. I get to come on and speak to you and that, mate, and like, I like fighting and speaking to those people and a wide variety of different people and that, and you've got to have that enjoyment aspect, obviously.
You've got to enjoy it, mate.
We've got deep, mate.
Oh, mate.
We've got fucking mad deep here, bro. Mad deep. It was a pleasure to have you on, brother.
Loved it.